Trey, what's up, boy? I ain't know you was up, bro. Fucking fell asleep last night. That boy say he up. That boy say he up and moving. I gotta go to fucking work. I went to sleep early than a bitch, so shit. It's time to get up. Gotta go to work at 7, so shit. Might as well get up. Look at that boy LeBron James. That boy done threw up the diamond on them boy. He say he rock nation now. I forgot to see. I ain't gonna lie. I had fell asleep. Right after I got done talking to you, I fell the fuck out. But see what's up though. Yeah, man. Let's get some viewers in there. Get like 10 to 20 viewers in there, man. Trey, what's the deal? Appreciate everybody for tapping into the live. Shout out to all my mods. They say, yeah, you working with the inside. Nah, for real. Once you do that, we know you working. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you working then? Looking at it. That's just like finding a badge in somebody's backpack. You working, buddy. We watching you, LeBron. Looking at it. Nigga, industry mode. You know them industry modes that run back and tell them everything. Hip hop police. I think LeBron might be part of the hip hop police, man. Let's get up to 10 viewers. Everybody hit that like button. Let me know what y'all think. Let's get the polls cranked up. Fuck it. Let's get the polls cranked up. As LeBron sold sold out. What y'all think, man? We got the poll cranked up. Everybody get their votes in, man. Y'all think LeBron sold out? Let me know, man. Y'all get y'all votes in. Get up there and get up there to the polls and cast your vote, man. We got the polls cranked up, y'all. Everybody cast their votes. Did LeBron take the oath and sell out? Or is he still fighting the industry with everything that he's got? You know what I'm saying? Or did he give in to the industry? We watching you, LeBron, looking at. What's up with everybody, man? Let's get some votes in. Everybody get their votes in. Has LeBron sold out? Fear no man. What's the deal? He said, of course he sold out. What's the deal, bro? Appreciate you for tapping in. Everybody go crazy on that like button, man. Let me know what y'all think about LeBron. See, y'all can't say I went back and Photoshop nothing. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to see the video, I'll pull the video up. Black American, what's the deal? He said, is he going to Miami? I think so. I think that's what I heard. Law-abiding taxpayer. He said attention-seeking behavior. Nah, for real. He acting like a little child. He seeking attention. He said somebody told me he's going to Cleveland. Nah, for real. LeBron been pouting lately, man. He ain't having his way in the industry like that, so now he got to show his allegiance again, in my opinion. Doing all that pouting. Now he going back to Miami. He said somebody told me he going straight to Cleveland. Shit, he might be. I don't know. I gotta look it up. I could have sworn somebody did say Miami, but he might be going to Cleveland. But yeah, man, LeBron, it's not looking too good for LeBron, cause he back seeking attention again. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. Y'all heard him the last time, the last interview. He said he just want to live. I don't know, man. Everybody get their votes in. We got 2 votes. Let's get up to 10 votes, man. Let's get up to 10 votes in the polls. Y'all think LeBron sold out? Or is he still fighting the industry with everything he's got? Appreciate everybody for tapping into the live. Make sure y'all sub up to the channel, man. We got 4 votes. Let's get it. Real soul, what's the deal? What's up with everybody, man? Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all hit that like button and get up there and put y'all votes in, man. We up to 5 votes already. He said, so if you have a friend that dies, y'all friendship still alive? Yeah, because the friendship never died. The friendship dies, then y'all ain't friends no more. If one of my friends dies, I'm not gonna say, oh, you know what I'm saying? We're not friends anymore. Looking ass. Just be like, damn. It's fucked up, man. Black American, what's the deal? Appreciate you for subbing up, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping into the live, man. What's up with everybody, man? Y'all hit that like button. What's up with y'all, man? Make sure y'all hit that like button. Get y'all votes in. What's up with everybody, man? Appreciate y'all for tapping in. It's your big boss squad of bands back in the building, man.
They needed a bunch of VCRs, because you can't do it with this digital shit. Yeah. Now.
LeBron James corny as fuck. He ain't on shit. What's the deal?
Put this shit over.
Hood boys, what's the deal?
It's one of the bootlegs.
Appreciate you for tapping in, G.
Now, I'm going to click this thing down. I'm going to click this thing down to the end. Before we do that, hold on. Let me do one thing. Before we do that. Now, here's a movie about a black man falling in love with a blonde white woman. Now, in the movie, when they capture him, to let you know it's a black man, they say, in his land, he was a king, but now he's nothing but a captive. Now, I'm going to set this thing up. I'm going to go to the end of the movie. When he sacrificed himself over the white woman, he's on the Empire State Building. The little planes can't kill him. You know what I'm saying? So he just sacrificed himself because he was in love and she was in love with him too. You know what I'm saying? She was in love with him too, as the white woman is when it comes to the black man. You know that shit. But the point here is, I want to show you how blatant when they make these movies, they just don't make a movie in Hollywood just for entertainment purposes. They make a movie because they're trying to reinforce a cycle. You see what I'm saying? Now, he's on the Empire State Building. He's all in love with her. And he's throwing his woman and bouncing the black woman around, killing them all up. They got bones all down there. You know what I'm saying? Well, he done ate the black woman up, but he in love with his white woman. But like some black motherfuckers I know, shit. Goddamn Rick James went to prison for torturing the black woman. You understand what I'm saying? And when them niggas all died, they always had, just like Richard Pryor now. They held that nigga captive for about 4 or 5 years. He's supposed to been made the transition. But that white woman held him captive. That's a ritual. Understand this. Nigga couldn't walk or talk. And it kept that nigga alive about 5 years more. You see, because that's the ritual. Try to understand this thing here. It was on South Park. They had one on South Park. The cartoon South Park, and Ice Cave get married a white woman, and they said, you better, and they tried to stop him, and at the end, the white woman turned into the damn devil at the wedding. You know what the white man tried to say, but anyway, at the end of the movie, I'm going to show you something at the end of the movie, and I'm going to explain it to you. Now, he's going to sacrifice himself, King Kong, for this white woman. He's down there dead, and I'm going to show you this to you. Okay, now, all right. We're going to go all the way down. Go down to the end of the movie. Let's hope this shit don't freeze. It is a book.
What's up with everybody, man? Y'all get y'all votes in, man.
I had all the rest of the stuff queued up, but I couldn't queue this up. But I want to show you this. Okay, hold up. Okay, now. Hold on. We just keep on going. Hold on. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, they're in New York. This is the end of... No, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute now. Hold up. Hold on. Let me see. He's going to sacrifice himself for the white woman. Let's see. That's a little white girl. Hold up. Now okay, hold up. Let me go back, hold on. Hold on 1 minute. Okay. No, hold on. Anyway, he's going to sacrifice himself. So you get the gist. Damn, if I had my remote control, I could speed the shit up. Hold on, I think I know.
Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Make sure y'all hit that like button and sub up, man.
Okay.
Get y'all votes in, man. Y'all think LeBron sold out?
Now I'm gonna fast forward this thing. Fast forward it. And she's going up on the building. Fast forward this shit. Put it on 32. Y'all all right? Okay. Now, she's all in love with him. She's waving. The planes are coming. They shooting, but the planes can't kill him. Because they're too small. This is 1938, so, or whenever, 35, 32, or whenever. That's when the film was supposed to have taken place. It just was made this year. But I want to show you this. Now he's looking at her all in love, and he's gonna put her down, and then he's gonna sacrifice himself. And then I'm gonna show you. She talking to him and all, you know. He all in love. Now I'm gonna show you this, and this is gonna be amazing. Let's see. He's gonna jump off the building. Now here you go. He's sacrificing himself. Y'all come on through. He go on around that way. All right. Now watch this. Okay. He's getting ready to jump off the building. And then I'm going to show you what happens here. Right here. She all hugged all up with him. Like new rolls and shit, you know. But this is one part that most people didn't get a chance to see. No, most people didn't get a chance to understand this. And they do things all the time. It's blatant in these movies. Now, did he fall? Now watch what happens here. When he falls, okay, he's falling. And watch what happens right at the end, right before the movie goes off. Now she's there. Then her white man comes back up. Now the white man come back up, and he, you know, after they done dumped the nigga, she going back to her man. It's all blatant stuff. It's all blatant. Look. Here come her man. She was in love with him, but she don't have no problem going back to who she got to go back to. You see what I'm saying? You know, life bill gotta be
what's
paid.
the deal? Nah, for real, she did switch up quick, boy.
You see, I want to show you this shit here. Linda picked this out because she said, you didn't see it? I'm like, no, it got past me. Look at it. Okay, they all hugged, get break. And she was in love a few minutes ago with a big ass E. Now she all back in love with this Jew boy. Now check this out. Check this out. This is the scene right here that I want you to see. And watch what the two white boys say.
What's up with everybody, man? Appreciate y'all for tapping in.
These two guys, now watch what they say. Watch this. He says he's just a dumb animal, don't know nothing. But did you just see what I just saw? Watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna backtrack this. Hold on. I'm gonna rewind it. Look. He said it's just a dumb animal. He said, why did he corner himself like that? He said it's just a dumb animal. He don't know nothing. Now look. Look. He just a... Look at the black man. The black man is jumping around like a stepping fetch. And I want you to see it real quick. Listen. First of all, they don't even put black people in goddamn movies now. I want to say this again. Show you this again now. He's the only one there now. 19, look, come on.
They put one black man in the movie right when he said that. That's fucked up.
Please, nah. Put your head again. He said, why did he corner himself? He said, he's just a dumb animal. He don't know nothing. But look who's in the background.
Nothing but white people in the background. As soon as he say that, All of a sudden, this one black guy.
Look at the black man.
That's fucked up, bro.
You gotta see it. It's real fast. But what? Deep psychology. I don't want to do it again. Anyway,
Y'all get y'all votes in,
what I was
man.
trying to show you was when he said he's just a dumb animal, don't know nothing. Although the black guy's trying to see the ape, he's jumping around like stepping fetching. And the moral to the story here is the black man that is on the ground that they just said is looking like stepping fetching, and King Kong is one and the same. And that's how they do things on a subliminal level, real subtle. How the hell they gonna have a black man when the two guys is talking? He's right in between these two guys. You understand what I'm saying? That means that, and I asked myself, why do they keep making this story over and over again? You see, making it over and over again. And hell, the one from 76 is just as racist. Now, I want to show this particular piece. I showed it earlier, but I want to show this. This will be a lot easier to manage. You best believe that shit. Watch this. Okay, now I want to show this piece. This is going on in Europe, but it's trying to show you the tide of what's going on. This brother and Ella saw it first, but I want to show you this thing and show you what's going on in Europe and what is getting ready to happen. And you must ask yourself this. Well, we had a history of racism and all this thing in this country, but I want to know what is the people who really don't even have a history of mass black people living with them, why are they acting this way? But this is going on all over Europe, and I want to show you this.
Black athletes have to endure just to play in Europe, although few people have noticed, and even fewer have cared. Ugly examples of blatant racism have been occurring on football pitches across the continent of Europe for years, in full view of fans and cameras.
What's up with everybody, man? Y'all get y'all votes in. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. That's your big boss, Squalor Band's back with another one.
Or as those abroad call it, hooliganism.
Flame-seared prime rib.
Yes, document came out in 1930. A guy that went to the University of Chicago.
As well as lecture for realize, you see what I'm saying? So until he realized that that the master ain't gonna come with all the flowing gold and all the type of stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? It could be the drunken master. That's what the whole thing happened with Jackie Chan. You see what I'm saying? And also the master always
Right,
appears.
what's the deal?
You see what I'm saying? In unconventional ways. You see, so and it's interesting. So when they say certain things, you might not catch it, or you might have to grow into it. Might have to grow into it. So he was a true master in the sense, and so if you can access Brother C. Primanel's works, so we're gonna spit to him on Mayberry. So after growing up there, I didn't want nothing to do with anything that resembles the country. So I've been on a retreat. Although I grew up in a small town, about like plus crowd. I'm 47. The same. Me, age. Forrest Whitaker, the 47 crowd. But I agree. But put there by a legal system on the she's talking about several women where she worked. She called on Mother Bridgie Because I want to read something to you. In my neighborhood, a woman with whom I work called on Mother Brigitte, because Mother Brigitte, she's talking about several women where she worked. Just say because most of their sons are in prison. Sounds familiar to some of y'all Negroes up in here? Most of their sons are in prison, but put there by a legal system on purpose. And you see what I'm saying? And on purpose of actually locking up African American youth or teenage males. And they love their sons, so they call on Mama Bridgie because she gets the sons out of jail. So that's just the note. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because if you black, somebody in your family gonna get incarcerated. You see, on some kind of level. You see what I'm saying? On some kind of level. And ain't nothing wrong with that. We understand that the system we live in. But Mama Bridgie is the one you call on to get your children out of jail. You see what I'm saying? To get your child out of jail. You see what I'm saying? So this is very interesting here. This is very interesting. So what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to go and call a libation out, pour a libation. And then what we're going to do, we're going to break up this thing a little bit. We're going to go into a question and answer. Then we're going to go into the lecture because we got a lot to cover. We're going to go into the lecture. And,
What's up with everybody, man? Y'all hit that like button.
You want to go now.
And let me know what y'all think about LeBron, man.
They start cracking down on getting you on the highway and giving you tickets and stuff. So what you want to do is you want to go out to Party City, the lecture, because we got a lot to cover. We're going to go into the lecture. And now what you want to do, you want to go now, because whenever times get hard, that's when they really start cracking down on getting you on the highway and giving you tickets and stuff. So what you want to do is you want to go out to Party City. I think they got a Party City up on Roswell Road. They got one up South Lake Mall. Go to Party City and get you a $2, I think it's a $2 or $3 top hat, and put it in your automobile. $2 or $3 top hat and put it in your automobile. You see what I'm saying? And therefore, you can shield people from stopping you. Because the energy is on. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's real powerful. You know, right now. This is also the top hat is healing. You know, so this is interesting here about the Baron Somni thing here is, if you a Mason, the worshipful master, which is the head Mason, has to wear the top hat in ceremony.
The Tempur-Pedic breeze makes sleep feel cool. So no more sweating all night or blasting the air conditioner.
Family of a black teen in Mississippi, they as well as lecture.
Damn it. Fucked up where I was at.
Was legendary. But page, let me see if I think it's page 170 or 1 something. It's interesting why you want to deal with Brigitte. Was unbelievable, was like legendary. This town is on and stuff like that, because the town, I grew up in a small town up there. It's what you want to do. You know, the 47 crowd. But, you know, and, saying, you know, it's real powerful. Therefore, you can shield people from thinking a $2 or $3 top hat. I think they got a Party City up on Rock, getting you on the highway and giving you tickets. You want to go now, because whenever times get hard, that's when they really start cracking down on getting you on the highway and giving you tickets and stuff. So what you want to do is you want to go out to Party City. I think they got a Party City up on Roswell Road. They got one up South Lake Mall. Go to Party City and get you a $2, I think it's a $2 or $3 top hat, and put it in your automobile. $2 or $3 top hat and put it in your automobile. You see what I'm saying? And therefore, you can shield people from stopping you, because the energy is on. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's real powerful. You know, right now, this is also the top hat is healing. You know, so this is interesting here about the Baron Somni thing here is, if you a Mason, the worshipful master, which is the head Mason, has to wear the top hat in ceremony. Up until recently, and they just stopped it, Barack Obama would have had to wear the top hat to get inaugurated. Because Reagan, now they might have stopped it on purpose because they didn't want to get that kind of power. Because the last person I saw that had it was Ronald Reagan. I don't know, you know, with the ducktails and the white boat, you know, the white bow tie. That used to be the tradition and stuff like that. Now, apparently, what they say in Haiti is that Baron Somni, and I can understand why they try to wake him up, because in Haiti, they say that Baron Somni is the head master mason in the cosmic celestial realm. So he sets over the master mason in the cosmos. So I can see why the Skull and Bones would want to try to usurp that power. It helped us out now. You see what I'm saying? It helped us out now. You see what I'm saying? So not only that, the top hat is also for healing. Now the reason why you got the gray hat it represents marriage. That's because this is the one they would have when they would have the weddings. It's the gray top hat. So what happened was, during the inauguration, they told me I needed to get the gray top hat. So I went to Little 5 Points, and they had one left, but the little band on the inside started coming apart. So they took the top hat down. It was $70. They took it down to $50. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna pay $50 for, and it ain't perfect. And I walked them, so we walked out of the building in Little 5 Points on Jumpman's daughter. Walked out of the building, and the sister Tracy had just gotten a brand new BMW SUV, and we got there, and the doggone key would not unlock the car. She was mad. She said, I can't get in the car. So what happened was, I said, hold on 1 minute. I said, hold on. I said, wait, I said, look, give me your money. I told Linda, give me the rest of that money. And I went in there and bought the top hat. As soon as I bought the top hat, the car unlocked. As soon as I bought the top hat, the car unlocked. So this is what happened. They needed me to get the top hat based on inauguration. Now, based on inauguration. You see, now, the great one for the marriage, and that's the marriage between Bridget and Baron Somni. Several marriages went on. So now this is one of the deals.
Trey, what's the deal?
This is one of the deals.
Appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Get y'all votes in. Let me know what y'all think about LeBron.
The Obama thing. We're looking at this the wrong way. If I told the people, I said, now look, this whole concept here that's going on with Obama has nothing to do with the actual person.
Right.
First thing people started doing is I said, so you know, after the inauguration, after the election, the inauguration and all of that, you don't need to worry about the politics or what's going on in everyday life. And what the first thing to do is black people follow this thing every day, thinking they're going to get something from Obama. Now, how you going to get something from any president when,
Okay,
can
man,
you tell
what's
me
the
when you
deal?
got something from any president in history, period, black or white? I'm not trying to say you. But the point I'm trying to make here is we completely missing the point. Obama was simply what went on at the inauguration, what went on with the win is a symbol of our rise. Those are just figures. Hell, how could this be a redeemer? Hell, even if you say he's only got 8 years, you can only be 8 years, or 4 years if they defeat him. So my point here is how can this be sequential to him
Good,
getting you
bro. I
out
ain't
of a certain
tripping.
situation in 4 doggone years? You see what I'm saying? The key here is you got to look at this on another level. It has nothing to do with Obama, only the image, the representation of black people's rise, the representation of Isis and Osiris. You see, but if you're looking at this thing on a political level, we'll tell you, we got extra chairs, so whenever we fill them up, you can well, let me see now. This zone here, you gotta go this way. Man, no, you have to go this way. This is the camera right here. You know, we like in Hollywood right now. You know.
It's a lot of us coming.
Yeah, y'all know we got that's cool. That's good. And we got enough chairs too. You know, we got enough chairs. It was designed for you and mine. So now, one of the keys is the inauguration. The inauguration represents the return of the pharaonic world, the pharaonic dynasty. The return back from the double White House. If there's a double White House, then you see one White House built by slaves. Then where's the other White House? There's 2 White Houses. It's called a double White House in Egypt. Where's the other White House? The other White House is a collective body of an ancestral people and a genetic people. You are the return of the double White House. There's the house of the living, which is the White House. Then there's the house of the dead. Well, you some dead-ass folks. But they're also talking about dead. They're talking about an ancestral heritage. So there's the house of so it's the return of the double White House. You can also, there's a book on Rosemary Clark's book. You got 2 books out.
What's up with everybody, man? Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Y'all get y'all votes in, man. We almost hit 30 votes. And yeah, man. Y'all see LeBron showing his allegiance again. You know what I'm saying? He back at it. Let me know what y'all think, man.
If you got hit, even if you were not.
It's a little grain of salt in our
It says the pious man, which you know is spiritual and righteous, will be considered impious. And the impious man will be considered noble and wise. It also goes in to say that you Egyptians are you pious people. The people that's impious will be admired and considered noble. But you Egyptians, or you Camites, will be treated as a common criminal in these particular days, in the future.
Now that's actually written.
This is actually written, and this is written in every Hermetic text you can get. You can find that particular one. The two that's available right off hands is Copenhagen's Hermetica. And the new one that just came out, although it's a small book, it does put that prophecy on page 1. You see what I'm saying? On Hermetica. But any of the Hermetic texts will give you that particular. It says the pious.
Each person's soul is his own universe. The reason why you are slaves is because of the simple fact that you've been made afraid of death. Anytime a motherfucker dies, you should applaud that shit. The ancient Egyptians say that death is like a bird that was captured in a cage and then released from the cage. That's how your soul feels when you get the fuck up out of this piece of shit right here you call a body. The Egyptians talk about the soul carries with it a shadow. Anytime you hear the word shadow, that's called melanin. The car, that's a form of the melanin. The bar is the soul.
Now see the dancing car? Now why is he dancing? He's not in a mummy form. His spirit is left. So he's dancing. He's dancing. He's free. He's a spiritual body now. So he's a spiritual body. This is what the Romans did not understand.
What's up with y'all, man? Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Get y'all votes in, man. We got the polls up.
Tools from Harbor Freight are doing hard work in real garages.
Oh, hey, Charles.
Yeah.
What are you wearing?
I mean, just growing up in America, I loved my childhood, but I hated growing up poor, and it made me very bitter, because
pretty much women have gathered together and they have made a good job of understanding men
Kevin, what's the
who
deal?
fall short of certain things because they don't want to get hurt. So it's, you know what I'm saying. But I think this is one that women should know themselves. Away from him. Take away his house and his car, and he'll beg to be a damn slave. That's what the masses does. The ancient Hebrews call them the Goyim. It's basically the wilderness. You see. So it's never been the masses of the people. So don't never get discouraged because the masses of the people are idiots. See, the mass of the people is too big. We don't know masses of people. You know individuals. You'll wear yourself thin trying to worry about the masses. Mm-hmm. That's African science. Now, the people who control us is a group of white people that sit in a room. Where did they get that shit from? They got that from the Moors, and that came from African science. Remember, in the ancient Egyptian, the priests used to run everything, run the society. In the African society, they used to have, like John Henry Clark said, you never got to the real king or the real leader. They would have several decoys. So the masses never govern themselves at all. The masses are too inferior to govern themselves. You see. Now the white boy got that from us. It's just that we used to use it in divine order, and now he uses it as a form of control. Uses it as a form of control. That's the difference. You see. We use it as divine kingship. So don't worry about the masses. If the masses were supposed to get it, they would have got it. They would have gotten it. We got it. You see what I'm saying? That's why they always say, even in the Bible, they talk about the elect. You see?
Who that? What's the deal?
So in actuality, this thing is actually happening. Now, how is it going to happen? Is it going to happen how is it going to happen? Is it going to happen also from a group of people making up their mind? In Isaiah,
there's a conversation going on between Mary, which is, Mayat and Isis, and one other person. And he's talking about how these people are going to rise up. And they say, well, the guys explain, he said, them people, those people, now apparently this has got to be the end times. And they must be talking about us. They say, those people? You talking about those people rising up? See, I don't see how the people can do anything. And she said, don't worry about that. She said, the spirit in them is going to override their bodies and going to rise up anyway. It's like the zombie effect. So you have a spirit inside of you that's going to rise up and take over every damn thing.
See, I can take pics like this at a Jay-Z show, don't mean I'm well.
The devil some things says,
Red Hood, what's
which is
the
coming
deal?
out of Indian Sanskrit, says that there are devices in our bodies that will come online when the race is
Oh yeah, ain't no party like a Diddy party. He
so what
did
the
say
white
that,
boy
huh?
has to do, he has to sneak around and make us think that everything is all right. He has to kill us off by being wise and conspiring against us. But if he outright just came out and had a mass open war, these devices will come out and will kill his ass. You see? So this is the type of stuff that we're dealing with at this particular time. There are ways to do it. It's just that we don't like the ways of the spirit realm. We want to do it the way the white man system say do it. We want to get some guns, and we want to storm him, we want to beat him, we want to take over, or we want to get our own businesses, and we want to get all this type of stuff. And we want the way we want to do it. When we know that the caliber of black people out here don't suggest that we can do shit. I mean, it's romanticizing it when we talk about black people in the black race. But most niggas don't even want to be black and don't even consider themselves a part of a doggone unity. But then again, on the other hand, that's the saving grace, because we're talking about the ones that still have souls, those original ones. The God covenant that they talk about all come together. So the only way I can explain this thing is to give you a spiritual aspect of what is going on. And that's the alchemical process of the melanin lining up. And that's what's actually happening. That's why you have some of, for the mere fact that you got black people conscious in a time like this, means that it's already happening. But the key is it doesn't have to have hundreds of people. It only has to be a few. So it's about like this. Let me explain. It's about like having taking a match and throwing it in a room full of gasoline. The whole room will go up in smoke. Go up in flames. You see what I'm saying? Well, that's how it is. We're talking about only a few of us have to ignite for the entire sport, for the entire race to manifest with this thing. That's the whole process.
Well, my brother,
you got any other questions?
You have been marvelous and wonderful, and I think you deserve dinner with a double helping. It's been excellent. It's been really excellent. I want to thank you for such an in-depth analysis, not only of the history of the Ku Klux Klan, but of the issues, the events, and the circumstances by which we will emerge from present oppression.
Yeah, let me give you one other part, too, that you must understand, that you were saying, well, when? Do you know that for the mere fact that we're making this video now, and the process that went on with Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Francis Cress Wells, and Asa Hilliard, and all those people, do you understand that process is a form of the emerging? What we're going through right now is a form of the whole act of this thing going. Let me explain. In the Kabbalah, which is the ancient black Hebrew and coming all the way from the ancient black Egyptian aspect, they have a word called tikkun, which is supposed to be this messianic act, something that happens in a process. We also call it ma'at. And they explain that it's not an event, but it's more of a journey of an unfoldment. So what we are doing now, speaking as we speak right now this moment.
I'd like to say peace to all the gods and earth and people of the universe, peace to Lord. We want to let you know the black man's
XO
first.
Pure, what's the deal?
We're going to drop a little something like this, you know what I'm saying, on how we...
Domino's best deal ever?
What is called
Mysteries of Egypt and the magic.
is to go and, like, you want to go to Greens or somebody, and you want to ask them, because they will order the liquor. You want some stuff called Devil Springs vodka. That's the one you want. Devil Springs. Bridget, that's the lavender, that's the purple hat and the black robe over the Cosmic Masonic Lodge. They went down to Haiti. And they, another thing also, I want to say this too while we're on this Baron Somdi thing. To show you how powerful this was. Now, Baron Somdi started coming to me in June and July. In June and July, so I said, I think I need to get a top hat. So the brother in England said, well, I got to be damn England. We got a whole store of these things. Want me to send you one? I said, no, wait a minute. We going to see something. I don't know. They must have wanted me to go on a journey. So I went to Party City one night and got two little $2 top hats. So Baron Somdi jumped on the Sister Kimberly and had her go out to a costume shop and get another top hat to put on this skeleton that I got to his particular altar. And then the top hat artist started. And then it started getting more elaborate and stuff like that. No, you see, it started getting more elaborate and stuff. And then so, you know, then Baron Somdi, I had to add the little bones and all that kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? You know, to activate it. To activate it. But one of the keys here is that's the crown. That's the crown. So these white boys in the first of 08 in Australia, which we're gonna be dealing with tonight. Australia is very key. These white
Appreciate
boys
you for tapping in, XO.
in Australia created a Baron Somdi energy drink. So they said, but before we release this, we need to get on a plane and fly to New Orleans. And we need to go get authentic.
Public face plays.
We want to get the authentic people. They will say, no commercial. So they say, first of all, no commercial. We're not going to, these is white boys. They said, we're not going to go to no white people. We got to get the authentic people to give us the blessing so they can get in touch with Baron Somdi, because we don't want to put this drink out here and Baron Somdi come and mess us up. Because believe me, he's got some real strong power. And since July, I have seen some things what he has done to people. He has done to people and messed a lot of people up. That's how powerful he is. But I don't want you to get all spooked out by it. You see what I'm saying? Get all spooked out by it. It's just that these spirits don't like ulterior motives, so you got to be true with your heart. Always deal with your heart. Now check this out. So they had to get on a plane to fly to New Orleans, and they went down and met 3 voodoo priests. A man, this other younger woman, and the woman Mama Lola. Mama Lola, I think her name is, used to be out of New York. Anyway, they had to go and give an offering to Marie Laveau. And they had to pull down Baron Somdi. When they pulled him down, he said it was all right to release the drink. You see, but they got a whole documentary on this thing. A brother sent me from London, England. And also I got it at the crib too. You see, so we're gonna pass out some of my tape lists too. And that way you can get access to that too. So anyway, like NBC and shit, you know. HBO, because I curse so. But anyway, we're going to pay you all the money just to have the thing. You know, we're not going to make nothing. So, you know, and it's just that thug type mentality type thing that's going down. You know, we do that to each other. You see, everybody's, you know, nobody has no integrity no more when it comes to each other, when it comes to black folks. Everybody just, you know, just trying to get, you know. And it's the same thing happened. Okay, I was supposed to do one because we're going to honor C. Freeman L. I should have got another picture of him. And so, that Soul Edge, the brother Kevin brought in back in college, niggas get them 40s and stuff like that, and then it passed on down to the generation that's ruling now. But I said, no, C. Freeman L was like, I guess he was about like 70, 71 or something. And so I said, well, and I knew he used to drink out of the can and stuff, out of the can. So some people say, well, is that spiritual? Go get the movie, Forbidden Kingdom. That was a movie with Jackie Chan. And they was getting ready to go to a certain level, and he said, no, I can't go to that realm. He said, well, because I'm immortal, and the liquor ain't in that realm. The alcohol ain't in that realm.
What's up with y'all, man? Say R.P. Bobby, he was one of the ones that made me get prepared for this time. I just got started listening to Bobby Hemming probably in the last year. He do know a lot of shit, I ain't gonna lie.
I mentioned you're not only empowering the gods, you're empowering yourself. Most of the religions that we have that was left around in Africa, left back in Africa, the Yoruba, the Vodun, and other ones, what makes it different between the ancient systems, and when we say ancient, we talking about going back a couple of million years to a couple of thousand years. What makes it different between the ancient system, let's say about 1 million years ago, is now you think of the entities that you say, Oshun, Ogun, Osiris, Aset, Hosea, you think of those as objective entities that have no relationship to you. You think of them as an objective entity, which means that that entity you think is somewhere outside of you, that you have to actually appease by giving them water. In actuality, your true self and your higher self is a form of that particular entity. Because in 1986, the valley of the Kabbalah and Exodus is talking about us now. And they got a chapter in there called the Valley of the Decision. This chapter was somewhere in the 60s, where we had been taught doctrine and been hung by trees, where we had to decide on whether we was going to do the white man thing or going to build a nation for our own. And the majority of us shirked that possibility of doing our own shit. And the majority of the people followed Martin Luther King in the Valley of Decision. As a result, in the ancient book, they said we would suffer from that. As a result, they gave us a birthday party in 1976, the bicentennial year, and the year after that, they started the Clone Wars based on perfecting the cloning. And as a result, let's put it this way. As a result, and I'm telling you this, and if you think about it, it makes sense, but you're going to have to think about this with your spirit, and don't think about this with your intellect. Your intellect can get to the point where as you can reason Mickey Mouse is a motherfucking damn player. You know what I'm saying? You have a spiritual faculty and think with your spirit on what's been going on here. Now let me explain this to you. They hired George Lucas out of college. George Lucas made a movie called THX. is in the computers, it's in the video stores. And it's a movie about all the black people being killed off in the future. But one guy comes in and started, he's with, and Robert Duvall is in this movie. And came out in 71. And one black guy escaped, and he came to Robert Duvall and he said, I'm not a real, I'm a doggone synthetic, which means basically they done killed off my race. And he was telling them all this type of stuff, and they had him in this same social engineering and shit that I was telling you about. Now the key is this. Only black people they showed was on TV. That was also in Logan's Run, 1976. Remember, Richard Pryor made an observation of it. Even in Star Wars, they only had one black person left, Landau Calrissian. Now what happened? All the Jedi warriors was killed off. You gotta understand what's going on here. Now let me tell you this shit. This shit is real. I just wish, serious business, I just wish you could damn really actually just imagine this shit how I'm seeing it. I ain't telling you to damn keep it as law. You do what you want to do. I'm just telling you, we just reporting shit for you to put in a file, and just so happen on the hereafter, if the shit is true, you'll say, well, that motherfucker told us so. But it's true. Anyway, look, this is what I'm saying. Because ain't no way in hell, listen, ain't no way in hell a nigga from Mother South Carolina can get this shit. This shit is, listen. I went through 12 years of school and damn near 4 years of college without studying. Only time I picked up some books, I was an art major. Fuck it, I can study for art major. And a good one at that. We don't study, we're creative. All of a sudden I don't become a damn scholar. I'm telling you because it's spiritual. Now listen to this. In 1977, they started something called the Clone Wars. And listen to what I'm saying, but think with your heart. What if? No, let me back up. Okay, I'll say it first. What if the government came in and replaced the majority of black people in this country with robots? What I mean is this here. What if the government came in? Now don't get it wrong. If the government came in, cloned the majority of black people, killed off the rest, and the only ones that survive is you, and you all alone right now. Now let me explain this to you. You get the book, The Making of the Third Eye, by Vera Stanley Adler. If you get the book Ancient, The Finding of the Third Eye, Vera Stanley Adler. In that book, she'll tell you that in the last days, the people's third eye consciousness is supposed to open back up. If you get the book Ancient Egypt, Practical Egyptian Magic by Murray Hope, it says in that book that the ancient people, which is us, have a time capsule in them like melanin, which is melanin, that will trigger in the last days, and they will have the knowledge of the great ones, which means you have the knowledge of the higher self. Yes. You get that? Yes. If you get this book here, Mark Balfour, based on the studies they had predicted by 1986, the people who have the original blueprint are the Akashic records, Akash meaning black, all the melanin, their time capsule of their ancient history will open up, and they will be back with full knowledge of what they call detailed files. I have detailed files. Now my point is this. We had melanin. By the late 80s, all of the melanin in us was supposed to open up. It says in the Bible that the books will open up and the people will read from the books, but if your name ain't in the book, you be cast in a furnace. The book is Cosmic Records, which means you got melanin. And if your name ain't in the book, that means that you don't have melanin. Why is it that the majority of people are walking around this motherfucker dumb as shit, don't know what time it is, don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, yet the thing was due to open up? That means that the government had to come up in here and kill them, and the only people Africa, no African clothes, whatever. How can you walk amongst your damn people and don't feel some kind of damn hurt? Say, damn, what the hell is going on? The third eye just means that your awareness starts picking up. But there was more awareness in the early 90s. Now people are more dead. You better go back and get the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978 one. The 56 one was good, but you got to get the 78 one. Where the Chinese man said, that's not my wife. That's not my wife. He said, she looked like that, but that's not my wife. You see? And I'm telling you this. But don't worry about that, because you can't kill us. Only thing they did was transfer the souls and where we going in the first place. Because the earth realm is new. You see what I'm saying? They only transferred the souls of where we going in the first place. Go back and look at the Star Wars trilogy where they say the force is surround you and it binds us together. That means
What's up with y'all, man? Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Make sure y'all hit that like button.
when they kill one of us, they become a part of you and they live inside of you. That's what the energy is. So they say you protect yourself when you call on your ancestors because the ancestors will come a part of you and the ones that's left down here still alive, you more powerful now. Only reason why they couldn't kill you because you agreed to come back and do this shit now. You agreed a long time ago, say, I gotta come back. See what I'm saying? Now, if you get the book, to let you know about the cloning thing in the Star Wars thing, because the Star Wars thing's a star. Every man, every woman is a star. The word Kim in Egypt means melanin. There's another word called Techium, which means heavy star material or stardust. That's melanin. You ever hear the word stardust? You know where to get that shit from? That's melanin. We got ancient words we don't know this shit coming from. That's in you. They say Techium and stardust, it also mean a group of people living on the earth. The ancient ones who are the star-headed ones, which is you all. Now look at this. The Star Wars is talking about, go back and get the movie. They use one man to hunt down the Jedi warriors and kill them. Now, show you what this cracker is dealing with. What is the Jedi warriors? In Egypt, you will see some shit that look like this. And it's called the Jet Pillar. You put an eye on that, it's the Jedi. If you get, remember I told you you would go back and read my shit, get my lectures. I got about 100 videos out now. But if you get my, I got over 100. But if you get my videos, I told you that the ancient Indian word from India for the word melanin was called the Bindu seed. Anybody ever heard me say that? The Bindu seed, I think it's the Bindu seed, which is melanin. If you get, let me show you the one I want you to get. The Star Wars, the annotated screenplays. Star Wars, the annotated screenplays. Show you how these crackers are dealing on your ass. Science fiction is science fact. Right. Star Wars, which is all the stuff that they took out. They have them in little capsules. In here, he said, I read about 40 mythology books. This was George Lucas who wrote the thing, wrote the screenplay. He said, I got most of my shit from a book called Joseph Campbell's book, A Hero of a Thousand Faces. I'm gonna get it right. Joseph Campbell's book. I'm gonna see if I put it on here. The hero with the hero with a thousand faces, Joseph Campbell. And in here he said that I ran up on the word Jedi, but it was called Jedi Bendu, which means that the Jedi Bendu, which is talking about the melanin carriers. The Jedi is the jet black eye, or the jet killer, which is talking about black people. And they say what? Luke Skywalker hunted down all of the doggone Jedi walls and killed them all but two. Now go and get the Dark Crystal produced by the same guy, Gary Kurtz, who was the producer of Star Wars. Who did the Dark Crystal? What did they do? In ancient mythology, in the Bible, they got a group of black people we would call what? The Nephilim. In the Dark Crystal, they were called what? The Nephilim. And what happened? They killed them all off but two. This wasn't this was an estimated thing on what they was going to do to you. If you think I'm lying, why is it that why is it that Darth Vader and them in Star Wars fought in something called the Clone Wars, but they don't adequately explain it? That's why you got to go and get this book. A Guide to the Star Wars Universe. A Guide to the Star Wars Universe. Write that down. It's all in this book. And the name is A Guide to the Star Wars Universe, and the guy who wrote it is called Bill, and I gotta write this down because I don't know this Russian shit. Bill S. Hold on, let me get it right. A Guide to the Star Wars. Yeah, SLADICSEK. SLADICSEK. In the book, they go into the whole cloning shit. This shit is real. And they say first they created the cloning like they did in Germany, but they couldn't create the people with the force. They couldn't clone the people with the force.
What's up with y'all, man? Make sure y'all hit that like button and sub up to the channel, man. And this shit Big Boss Squalor Bands in the building. And get y'all votes in, man. What y'all think about LeBron? We got the polls still booming, man. Get y'all votes in. Let me know.
Called dark force, or dark matter. They say, but later on after years, they learned how to create the forces in the damn book. When you look up sporadic cloning, Spartan or cloning cylinders, they tell you on the back of the book about the Spartan cloning cylinders. And to read it in its entirety, you can get a book, just 3 books by Timothy Zahn. One is called Heir to the Empire, the other one is called Dark Force Rising, and the other one is called The Last Command. This is real shit. They writing all that stuff. They writing down history on what they did to us. And it's right in the damn book. That's why they released this again, because this is the 20-year anniversary of the Clone Wars. Now, go back and backtrack. How in the hell can black people just all of a sudden, you cooling in the 70s, just going and shit, motherfucker getting down in the damn 80s and shit, you doing all right, and then somewhere in the late 80s, shit just boom, fall apart. You killing motherfuckers. You doing all kind of shit. You walking around with blonde hair. All clones. The dope dealers, clones. The gang shit, clones. All orchestrated by Because if a person has technology out here and don't tell you that the technology exists, you have no way of reasoning what will make 14-year-old boys go up and shoot motherfuckers in the head. To let you know that it's got to be a government program, if it was a natural trait for us to do this, you would have seen things like that in the 70s, in the 60s, in the 30s.
Slimy, what's the deal, bro? Appreciate you for tapping in, fam. Everybody get their votes in, man. Make sure y'all get up there and vote. We got the polls still jumping. And let me know what y'all think, man.
Clone keepers are scientists that are trained, are responsible for the emperor's clone bats on the planet Bis. So don't worry about the planet. All that shit is happening right here on Earth. But so what I'm trying to say is this. In 1975, they went into, I saw it. I'm not telling you no goddamn shit based on some motherfucking shit that I'm trying to calculate shit. I saw the shit in my fucking head. I saw the shit this summer. I saw the shit. It started coming. That's how the spirit works. There's only so much you can go with intellectual shit, but you'll be bound because you'll stay in the confines of what you can damn give to people based on the intellectual shit and what you can prove. But I saw the shit. I saw it. I saw it in my head. I saw the shit. Once I tapped into the shit, it made sense. In the 1970s, up until now, they have been literally killing our people by the masses.
Tell it.
And they have basically killed all the people in the United States that's black, but a remnant. And the African continent is going through that shit now.
That's right.
But ours had to be a little more sophisticated. So they did it through the hospitals. You see what I'm saying? They do it through jobs. But I'm going to tell you, the main cloning centers now is the motherfucking church.
Tell it.
And now the Muslim mosque.
Right. Tell it.
And the main organizations now, or your conscious organizations now, and colleges. In the AU Center, they built a cloning center. Now, you know, the AU Center, if anybody ever been down to the AU Center, that's there's 5 colleges in Atlanta. Most people that never went, you might think that the college is up the street from each other. No, you can walk across the street from Clark to Spelman and walk across the street from Spelman to Morehouse. And the only one that's up the street is Morris Brown, but you can walk across the street from Clark to ITC, which is the seminary, the black, and then from ITC you can walk to Morris Brown. And right there as one, if it was in a white school, it would be one campus. Up on some of the thing, they got a damn cloning center up in there, and that's where they duplicate motherfuckers from. They're doing it in the churches. In Atlanta, they came in and cleaned out a whole city through one hospital called Grady Hospital, Grady Memorial. Now up here, it will be some other place. Where all the niggas go. No, if you get, no, and I ain't talking about where you selectively go. If your ass get on a damn car wreck on a Saturday night, where your ass gonna end up? Simple. That's the main cloning center. And what I'm saying is this. First of all, to invent technology and don't tell you that they have it, which means that they got you already. You still thinking that this is fucking 1950 some shit, you know? You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, man, that we're in the last days, and this is a horror because it was presented to me and I saw
Wait,
shit.
what's the
And it
deal?
makes
Appreciate
sense
you
now.
for tapping
Because
in,
black people
fam.
can't be this stupid.
Slimy.
They can't be this stupid.
Pure. Toy. What's
And
the
this
deal?
is what really made me think, no, that our people was insane. Because all we have to say about the religion shit and all of the stuff about Jesus Christ and all the stuff about certain America and the government and all this shit, if you never had no knowledge. But we know from the late 80s to now, we have been bombarded with some of the greatest knowledge that ever hit the planet. Right. And yet, some of the black people that's experienced that shit is back in the church, and some of them voting. That's right. That's right. And then I said, wait a minute. First of all, they tell you that the only thing on this planet that can free you is knowledge, gnosis, the divine knowing. Now, we have been given the knowledge now, and yet, it's still like we're in the 1950s. That's right. Worse, because you gave it to the niggas in the 1950s, they would have been witness. I said, these is clones, but then the ultimate thing came. That's right. All you got to do is go back and go into your memory bank. So, I was born in 1961. Same year as the so-called Princess Diana. That bitch, I was born the same year, 1961, 1997. I was born in 61. But I went back to the 1930s. I went back to the 20s, and I started time traveling, plus I started doing some case study. Now I want to show you something. Let's just understand basic evolutionary process based on cultural perspective or social perspective. In a culture, I don't give a damn what culture it is. And because we live with white people, therefore we benefit with white people. So therefore, if they copy some of the best stuff of our culture, we should be able to get the backwash of that shit. I want to ask this question. If your parents and your grandparents was a certain mentality and at a certain level, 3 generations down the goddamn line, that person, 3 generations down the line, is supposed to be more advanced than the grandparents. Right? Okay. Now let's go back and do this case study. Black people, we're going to take an era. Black people from the 1930s, 1940s, and the 1920s. 1920s, 1930s, and 1940s. Now, these people were the grandsons and the great-grandsons of slaves that was mutilated in slavery, or the greatest Holocaust ever to hit the damn planet. Right? Yet, they produced a culture that wore the suits and the shit better than the white man, the jazz, and an upward mobility. A northern migration. They produced a culture. Now, wait, I want you to hear this. How can a motherfucker produce a culture out of slavery? You just been mutilated months before. You come out of slavery and you produce a goddamn culture. That's vast and grand. Black baseball, black doctors, black lawyers, black this, black that. In 1950, you was a powerhouse. And they had to break that shit up. Black segregated schools that was producing geniuses with less materials than the white man. And you produce a powerhouse out of slavery. But yet, these are the grandparents, we're supposed to evolve beyond them. Yet, we moral squalor now. Something had to happen. I don't give a fuck. Plus, they had less to go on than us. They didn't have TV. They didn't have access to the education. We sitting right beside the white man. They didn't have access to the books. They didn't have access to the dog. We can listen to a cassette. We got more literacy than them, although more of them graduated high school that could read. We got more literacy than them. Just on a per capita basis, we fucked up. But my point is, we even got TV where we can learn shit better than the motherfucker from the 30s. Something had to happen when all cultures are supposed to go more advanced than the person than your grandmama and them. How can you have nothing in slavery and create a culture that America copies and create the only American classic that they got? You see? That's right. Jazz. That's right. Funk. Rock and roll. Blues.
Everybody hit that like button, man. Who we got up in there?
They say that these aliens are running the country. And they say these grays are actually running the country and telling the government what to do. That's because they got underground caverns all up under the ground. It's where these particular grays live because they cannot live on top of the ground based on sunlight. You see what I'm saying? Based on sunlight. So by them not living on top of the ground, they run the country and they've cloned their selves to be on top of the ground. So it goes like this. Let's say you're coming down with skin cancer. You go into the hospital, they say, well, you got such and such time before you mutate. And it's a rapid mutation, even more now. And they say, so what we're going to do is once you get too bad and you can't live on top, we would already had your clone, and we just switch up the clone and nobody will never know you're gone. So it's as easy as that, you see. That's why the movie Judge Dredd is very important, because nobody knew that Sylvester Stallone and his brother was clones. You see what I'm saying? Very key. You go see the movie Judge Dredd. Now, they go up under the ground and the clones live on top of the ground. Why not? Since the original white people was clones in the first place. You see what I'm saying? The key to the clones is the clones have complete memory of the other person. So therefore, it's not like the other person is ever gone. It just resumes the same life form lifestyle because it has a complete memory. You see what I'm saying? That's what the movie Blade Runner told you. It was a Yaku story being played out again. Blade Runner. Philip K. Dick, which is a real esoteric person, wrote Blade Runner, and they made the movie with Harrison Ford in 1982, told you that the last movie, the last girl, Sean Young, was a part of the new clones, and what the androids, they call them, and what? She had complete memory and started crying because she didn't know that she was a clone. So, right. Also, they say this thing, Boys of Brazil. Anybody saw this movie, Boys of Brazil? That's talking about clones. That's why it's key to come back to A.E. Powell's book. A.E. Powell's book. What's that? I think the famous page is 169. An astrocarp is a shade, which is an entity, which is not in a sense a real individual at all. Nevertheless, it bears its same personal appearances and possesses his memory. And its little idiosyncrasies. So also they're talking about the original white boy that possessed the black man's thing, memory. But it's also talking about this can be duplicated in clones too. You see, and say maybe therefore readily may be mistaken for him. Indeed, it's frequently in seance. They say they have to go into seance and understand that it is not conscious of any act of interpretation. So even this is the stuff on the white boy, on the creation of the white man, is after all of the black musicians on page 169 of A.E. Powell, they say what they came up with. But they're saying that the clones that they're talking about are not conscious of its act. It supposes itself as being that individual. So it's like it's never breaking a break, and it's not like it's a disaster that's going on. So they can clone millions of these people, and because they have memory, you see what I'm saying? They can assume the same life, and it's like back into the system. Real key. So we know that the grays is the one that's running because the ones that was up under there are the real deal clones. And so Hitler was talking about a damn master race because they had already started mutating even with him in that time. Now this is the key. We went to Philadelphia 2 weeks ago. I was speaking in Philly, spoke in New York one night, spoke in Philly next couple of days later. And the sisters there, it was a group of sisters, they got together and formed them a little group, and they just bring up speakers. Hell, they bring them up in the crib with food and all that shit. It'd be like 20, 30 strong up in the house, right? They bring them in the damn crib, and they just be chilling with the food and stuff. You just sit up there at the table and rap. Real nice. So, one of the sisters all bad witness what I was saying, because they said it was a white boy downtown Philadelphia. This a dark gray man.
Alonzo, what's the deal?
Refused to go up under the ground. So they was bearing witness that this thing went on. They said, you know, they got this white boy that hangs downtown and he's dark gray. Then I told you that this is why when we came back to Atlanta, 2 days later we ran into this whole epidemic of proportions or stock of melatonin in return to eat, like an emergency stock. Because these crackers are mutating. Now the key to that is this. We finally got the time limit. If they don't take melatonin, they have about a year to live. Because see, now what's happening is the clones now have started mutating. That's why when the clone mutates, it's different than when the white people was mutating, because it mutates even rapidly, because it's cloned even more. And that's when you get the damn disease, the skin-eating disease that they had out last summer, the skin, the flesh-eating disease. That's because that clone, when it started mutating based on the race that even Devil Bless said they was going to send down here, that thing, when it started mutating rapidly. So the white boy knows, the ones who know what time it is, and they say there's 20 million white people on melatonin. You see what I'm saying? 20 million. They say, and those ones, they can stay alive about a year. But they say, damn if I do, damn if I don't. It's got side effects, and I might be crazy, but then again, on the other hand, this is the last stand on these clones. And so therefore, we got to take it anyway. And that's why this melatonin they're showing is real big. They've been, the last 3 months, they've been, especially after this summer, that's all they've been talking about is melatonin. You see what I'm saying? It's animal hormones. Ain't that something? The animals got melanin and even the cracker don't. But still, yeah, it's animal hormones, but on the other hand, we do know that in actuality, it's, they have to have it. But even that, by it not being produced by the body, they live about a year. Now, look at this. Because what it is, I went up to Indiana, and his brother, his whole psychic is family. His whole family is psychic, excuse me. And I told him, I said, brother,
what's the deal?
You have the ability too. So he went and got him a pendulum, and the pendulum, because he's psychic already, the pendulum works even great. It works even, he can phrase those questions. He can get anything he wants right off the pendulum. So now, although I was getting channels with the missus also, who was hooked up to a certain degree, when we went on the mounds, I went there and all, and we found out a clone list. And this clone list, I want to show you this clone list and show you some people that's on this clone list. First of all, we know that the white boys were starting wars based on clones. So we know that even though you got Manuel Noriega, the real one, they would go into a place, tell them, look, okay, we can put you in the hiding, or we can put you underground, and we'll just clone the actual clone, and we can program the clone to do anything we want it to do, and so the clone will start the wars because they can be economically feasible. You see what I'm saying? Also for population control. So Manuel Noriega, he's a clone. Gaddafi is a clone. Saddam Hussein is a clone. Now, not saying that these people are not still living. Some of them are still living. But on the other hand, the ones just doing all the stuff that you keep seeing, that every time they want to start a war, they tell them, go on and do this. They can operate a war based on the clones. And so Saddam Hussein is a clone, you see. So now, they got this ultimate clone, and they went ahead and killed him. But they got this ultimate clone, who is Colin Powell. So now they're taking Colin Powell, and they're going to run him as the new Messiah. Because certainly they're not talking about presidency. Because first of all, there ain't going to be no new president. But they are talking about a new Messiah. Because more people are going crazy over Colin Powell, it's mostly white people. Why all of a sudden, black people don't give a fuck about no Colin Powell? A goddamn nigga in the army. Who got this big deal? But it's him. That's because he's a straight up clone, you see. Hold that thought back there. Let me go into the history of this. I'm going to get it all the way done. Hold that thought about the Million Man March and Exodus. I'm getting ready to come back to it, okay? Let's go into the history of this. We do know now that if the white boy can clone, and the white boy has cloned, he's now started cloning black people, they can clone the surface melanin from the DNA blood. We also know if they can clone the surface melanin, we also know that now they don't have to kill no damn black leaders, because they can get the black leaders to act on their side. And the one way they can do that is by cloning black leaders. You see what I'm saying? By cloning black leaders. You see, you got 15 minutes? Okay, now, this is the key. In 1991, Minister Louis Farrakhan comes down with prostate cancer. He goes to, what's his name's farm? What's the name of the guy's farm? Dr. God's farm, the so-called Get Cured. And at that particular time, the clone gets switched because the government came to him and told him, I know this might sound crazy, but then again, we can check the one from the 80s and we can check the one from now. The government tells him that, look, we know that you're a big bad black man and you say you will die for Allah. Okay, cool. But what about if I put the pipe to your wife's head? Oh, then that's another story. See, it's one thing to say, I'm ready to die. You can make that up in your mind one day. Hey, I'm ready to die. Because you come to that realization. But what about if they put the pipe to your mama head? Or your daughter head? Then you start singing another tune. And they give you the ultimatum. Okay, look. We're going to take you and you're going to go into hiding. And we're going to make this clone. Therefore, they don't have to kill black leaders anymore. Or, if they do kill black leaders, you'll never know about it. You see what I'm saying? You'll never know about it. Now, let's go on. So he decides to go underground. And he made the switch when he came up with the colon cancer, and they say he's going to get cured. And the other one comes back, and he does not have cancer. That's because that one never had cancer anyway, and they made the switch. And the one before, go check the tapes. Go check the tapes. He has wavy hair. Now, I know I say, now, man, I got to put this on the tape. I got to preface what I say. I say, man, this information is so miraculous. I said to a nigga, you have gone and started treading waters, even though you believe it. It might be 2 or 3 people in my group that I correspond with, I believe it. I said, but you're treading mighty big waters to think that black people are going to believe that the Minister Louis Farrakhan is a damn clone. But then again, on the other hand, you must understand how much advanced the doggone white man is. So they make the switch. He comes back out and starts fiddling and all of this kind of shit. What is an omen? An omen is something like a warning. So they give you a show called Omen. It comes on the 2nd week of August on NBC, one Wednesday night, where they show these entities jumping in and out of people, and these people doing what this entity says do. They're talking about clones. They're just doing it on another form. And the entity jumps out of jumps into this person. This person goes into the lab and he gets the Ebola virus, and he goes out to this parade and he's getting ready to drop it in the parade. It's an Irish parade, but it's an Irish parade, an ethnic parade in the United States, because the Irish is known as the black people of Europe. So therefore, it's an omen to tell you that the Million Man March is going to be dropped with a chemical. Now, we thought it was first going to be Ebola, but we found out that the white boy, he showed the Ebola on the TV to warn his people on what the fuck's going down. They put it on TV how they're going to kill black people, because they set up the march. But what happened was they found out if the Ebola goes airborne, they might run the risk of killing white people, because black people interact with white people all day. So it's going to be one of the ethnic type of diseases, like a melanin type disease. But they got 1 million people registered, so whoever goes in there, if the silent chemical is dropped, they can track you back to where you go, because Farrakhan done registered you. Because he the clone, leading people to their death. So they go to another brother, because this other brother telling people on the video that the government trying to kill him. I said, well, I got to try to go to this brother, try to get to him, to tell him he need to get down with the spiritual thing, and tell him what to do. Stay away from them cracker colleges. But they shoot up his car and take the brother out. And he comes back from his car getting from April, when he was last here, and his car gets shot up in the summer. He comes back as a clone, Morehouse Wednesday night, telling people to come to the damn march. Steve Coakley. He down with the fucking march. This shit is real. I'm telling you what's going down. Hey, yeah, let's go into this thing. He gonna try to get in the audience and bust me out in front of all the damn people by telling you got a damn list of Farrakhan being on the trilateral. You need to produce the list. We want to see that list. And I'm looking out saying, I know this ain't the same nigga that talked to me in May telling me this. First of all, I'm beyond the thing because I got the shit. I got some shit. For me, so if the crackers up the East Coast since the Illuminati and them got my tapes, they received all my tapes. And them tapes is in Washington, D.C. or wherever the fuck the Illuminati is. They received my tapes last year. They got all my shit. They watch it. I'm telling you what I know. And if them crackers couldn't take the brother out, I ain't worried about no motherfucking niggas talking that yang shit, no fucking Nation of Islam. Fuck them. I'll tell them today, fuck y'all. Fuck you. You think whatever, this is what time it is. See what I'm saying? So I ain't worried about that shit because I done went up. So he ain't busting me out because I done gone up the East Coast telling people about Farrakhan. I done did everywhere. Dawood called for the death of Farrakhan in 93 and I ain't did nothing to that nigga. Didn't even jump. And the Muslims watch the tape every day. You see what I'm saying? So that ain't the move. But I'm saying, what about if I was a helpless nigga? That would be kind of bad for you to holler out this stuff. Now, let's go into this. One brother called me and said, well, brother, you need to find out if this certain brother is a clone. Because he heavy on this march. I said, now that don't sound like the same Steve Coakley. It's talking about calling the people the civil rights movement, calling the civil rights all-stars in 94, and now he going to be down with the civil rights all-stars in a damn march? That don't sound right to me. Why is everybody repeating Martin Luther King? That just don't sound right to me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now I know he gonna say this stuff to me and I know something wrong. I said, now I know this ain't the same damn man that's telling me. I went to New York and I heard some brothers say that you said that Farrakhan was on the trilateral commission. You got a list.
Here's a May, what's the deal? That's Bobby Hemmett.
I said, that ain't you. I know that. I got you. You busted. I know that ain't you. I said, I got you. This ain't the same man that 3 months ago, you called me up, and we have a conversation for about an hour. And you the one that give me the fucking rundown on Farrakhan. I said, and then you gonna quote something wrong. I never said about the list. These are my words. I said, I got a friend that works out at Hartsfield International Airport in U.S. Customs. One of my homeboys I grew up with. He says they got a Mormon to tell him that we keep secrets in Salt Lake City, Utah on all people in the United States like the damn Jews was doing and got busted for it. You know, Renee Brill and the Anti-Defamation League, they got busted. He said, we got one more comprehensive than them because we own a whole fucking state. You see what I'm saying? Salt Lake City. But he said, and we got a list that's got Farrakhan on the trilateral commission's list. And that's what the white boy, he said, nobody the white boy, why would he have to lie? Even though they do lie, but hell, he showed up. It made sense. But that's all I had to go on, and I did that. Who supplied the other information was Steve Coakley. Well, brother, I don't say, and this is it, I don't mention about the Minister Farrakhan, because I know them niggas will start tripping. But these are his words. Because see, he knows all these people's names that run all this shit. You know, he brought some, we know all the names. Who run this and who run that? He said, so I done checked the money, the grant money that's coming for the security agency and money that's coming to build the buildings, and the same niggas that I done said, the same niggas, the same crackers that's in this trilateral commission is on them checks. And he the one that gave me the lowdown. Now this clone coming back saying, I heard in New York last week, wait a minute, last week, nigga, we had a whole fucking damn conversation for an hour in May, and you gave me the rundown. You gave me the rundown. All of a sudden, he comes and tells people, never sign your name up on no list and take no survey of nobody. Because you be putting the names of the list down for the government and taking a survey for the government. Right? For the government. All right. Then he's going to come there, and all of a doggone sudden, he's starting a new party, and he wants people to sign up for this shit. After a month coming last year telling people they don't need to sign up for nothing. Right? Okay, let's go on. Now, how in the hell you gonna say you in favor of a march when you start off your lecture saying that Ben Chavis met with FEMA to discuss the damn march? FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Act that puts in the King Alpha Plan. Now, wait a minute, this don't make no sense. You mean to tell me that you're gonna tell me that the head coordinator of the Million Man March met with FEMA, which bears witness that the government set up the march in the first place, because the head coordinator is Ben Chavis, and you mean to tell me that you're going to be down with sending these people to the damn march? That's contradictory. You see? That's contradictory. Then tell them, y'all are going to the march. Raise your hands. How many people going to the march? Well, you know how it is. See, one thing about college era, there's a lot of egos going because they tell the students they're the future black leaders. Everybody want to be politically correct. You see what I'm saying? So they're going to go out there. If you ever want to get somebody to protest, you go down to the college students. They'll do it because, it's an ego trip. Their leadership skills. Just to, get the head right. So all of them going to raise their hand. You see? Because they don't know no concept of real revolution. And the whole time he's talking about revolution, pumping them up. Y'all going to the march. Wait a minute, nigga, you haven't given one indication on why people should go to a march. And I'm starting this new group up, and I want you to sign up, and I want you to give me any information you can get on the future. We want to know your ideas. And I've already started a group in DC, and we're compiling papers. What's that? Yeah, he was with it. He was signing people up then, too. He was signing people up, too. Okay, for this particular stuff. I said, no, wait a minute, this don't sound like the same one. Oh, and I'm going to be giving tours. I said, wait a minute, first of all, the Steve Coakley that first of all, look, I know Steve Coakley because it was Steve Coakley that started me out. When I came and opened up for Steve Coakley, and after that, once I opened up, everybody wanted to hear me speak. So he was one of the first. I said, wait a minute, that ain't the same one I know that's an introvert as far as he's a loner. He don't do no field trips with people. He ain't never been a part of the group. You see what I'm saying?
And he was just free to get out of there.
His phone number and his address. Here's my phone number. Here's my address. I said, wait a minute, this ain't the same damn man here. That's right. Here's my phone. I said, wait a minute, what's going on? But see, we went there this time looking for the clone. And then he gonna bust me out. I said, no, that ain't the same man, because I got conversation with this man, but I had already known that his car got shot up this summer. But what had thrown people off is they saw this clone walking around, and they were saying, well, he must have didn't get killed. Oh, we got killed all right. You see, it's just a DNA clone. Okay. So he want to sign people up and all this type of stuff. Now, this is what the key is. So now, I give one of the brothers who had him come, and I give the brother a paper on some clones. I said, now, I need this paper for the clone to come back, because I'm going to talk about this. Some paper I got from D.C., some information on some clones, some government stuff. He comes and tells me that the brother that opened up, the one that was sounding like Farrakhan in the blue suit, say, this nigga, he don't go to no school. He don't even have a job. His mom and daddy ain't rich. They don't know nothing about this guy, but he goes to city to city. So we get this, he's not a clone, but he's an agent. This guy goes in the papers that I gave the brother about the clone. I gave him a lot of papers on the New World Order concentration camps. He don't get them. He take the one about the clone out and give the shit to Steve Coakley, and they haul ass with the papers. He called me up this morning saying, man, Steve Coakley got your papers on the clone. You want me to Federal Express? I'll call him back. I said, no, let him have the papers. That ain't nothing. I can get them back from Detroit. The brother who sent them to me, I can get them back. You see. But that just don't seem like Steve Coakley to me. A man just talk about the government and know all this about the government and know all this about the Illuminati, know all this about concentration camps, know all this about the government and germ warfare. And all of a sudden, he's going to be down with a march, and not only be down with the march, if that's his view, but we're going to become a part of it. And we're going to have trips. And we're going to put a banner stuff calling the Brotherhood Black back. And we're going to have people out there with the hood on. I said, what the hell going on? But when he told me this stuff about I heard you had a list because I got it from New York, and I'm saying, nigga, we had a whole conversation about this list, and you the one that verified, because you the one that gave me the fucking information, the detailed information. All I told you was a Mormon said there was a list. And he went into detailed information on how Farrakhan is in the trilateral. And all of a sudden, he gonna come back, this new man, like he don't know shit about it. I said, you straight up clone, but we knew that. Now, I want to show you this. How in the hell is Steve Coakley gonna come from the students, go house and put pressure, name all the Boule members? This new man, like he don't know shit about it. I said, you straight up clone, but we knew that. Now, I want to show you this. How in the hell is Steve Coakley gonna come from the students, name all the Boule members? And this is the key. And we gotta use our brains. 2 days later, the Anti-Defamation League comes to Morehouse and put pressure on Morehouse. And they cut off all the money for the SGA so they won't bring no more speakers for the rest of the year. Now listen to this now. You gotta just think for a minute. And the Anti-Defamation League and the Jews is the one that run Morehouse, so they're the one that got all the damn money. Right? Now, not only does he come back, because you can just say, well, they can't stop the students from having who they having. But it's one thing for him to come that night. But you see, he spoke the next day at 12 o'clock in the assembly. And the assembly is not put on by the students. That's put on by the fucking damn school. That's my ride and my homeboy from way back. Hey, I'm gonna put him on the spot. We go way back and stuff. We had a place called the Honeycomb Hideout. And when we was in college, they gave us a damn shack called the Honeycomb Hideout. We was the Honeycomb boys. And we tell them, come to the Honeycomb Hideout. No hard heads allowed. And we had a thing, look, when they come to the Honeycomb Hideout, take all the chairs and throw them out the damn windows. We take all the chairs out the house and throw them in the windows, so the sisters got to sit on the damn bed. Anyway, that's a long time ago. Now, where was I? So, but the assembly is put on by the doggone administration. And that's all Boule. And you know what's up with this thing. That's all Boule. You don't get in the morning assembly, not unless you down with the clique. You see, now they got this whole million-man march thing going down. And they've already shown it on TV on the doggone show. You see what I'm saying? And they want everybody to go, because this is the man's last woman. If you go read Exodus and understand what's going on, remember the evil Pharaoh comes after the people? That's the million-man march, because it's all in the scriptures. Well, I said, well, I wouldn't be inclined to say it went down that way based on the Charlton Heston thing, but also I know that if you go to any of the scriptures, that's the systems back then, they got an Exodus story. And the Kemetic one goes the same damn way. So I said, okay, I know what's going down now. Okay, that leads us to the O.J. Simpson trial. Now, I knew in January something is up. It came to me, I said, wait a minute. Judgment, trial, Book of Revelation, Book of the Dead. I said, oh, wait a minute. But a judgment would have to be a trial on a miraculous proportion. You see what I'm saying? And it might not go down as way it is indicated in the Bible or whatever, because those are a series of metaphysical events that you are looking for some hocus-pocus thing, but it's going to go down right amongst you. See what I'm saying? There's several Bible prophecies that's been fulfilled, and it's been fulfilled in the context of the fucking earth. Right? And I said, wait a minute, judgment. I said, oh, this is the trial in Amenta. Amenta is the Egyptian West Bank, in the west. Not the city of Egypt, in the west. Amenta is in the west. I said, oh, the trial in Amenta. The great child in judgment. And the Spirit said, you've just broken the seventh seal. Okay. I asked him, I said, well, let's see. Is there the scriptures that say plenty in the Book of the Dead? And I go and look, and I find this one on page 180 of Beginner's Guide to Revelation by Robin Robertson, page 180. And it's like the final judgment of Horus and Set. Now, the original Set Typhon is the oldest god, one of the oldest ones, but the later Set Typhon in your Osirian drama is your Typhonians created the mutant. So when they had this big one on between the Typhonians and the Osirians, they said, well, hell, since you created the mutant and you worship Set, we're going to call Set Typhon your creation. So the Set Typhon in the Osirian drama is the white man. Is the white man. Now, in here is a thing going on where Set Typhon in a trial is throwing all kinds of dirt out to prove that Heru or Horus, which is you, the Christ is in all of you, you are the Christ. You understand what I'm saying? Read the Holy Kabbalah. We'll read it in a few minutes to tell you the real deal on the Christ, because this is the metaphysical Bible and where your other Bible comes from. It comes out of this one. In the Bible you got, Christ is one person that you follow. In the original Bible, Christ is in all of you, and you follow Christ, meaning your body transformed into Christ. So now, Horus in here is you. There's a trial going on, so Set Typhon being the adversary of you has got to be the white man. This trial, they say, Heru, in this trial, it says, look at this. The appropriate at this time to return to the story of Isis, Osiris, and Heru, or Horus, which in itself is a trial or final judgment. A final judgment. Now look at this. And remember that Isis, in order to impregnate her Osiris, in order to impregnate Isis, before he retained the Eleusinian fields. Remember I was talking about the Eleusinian fields? That's that other dimension. I talked about that earlier in the lecture. And now look at this part. I want to get to the trial. At the trial, Set tried all his cunning, arguing that Horus could not be the true heir of Osiris, since Osiris was already dead before Horus was conceived. Now, it's a metaphysical thing, and it's dealing with future events. The white boy in the trial tried all the cunning shit to set up the black man as a mass murderer. He did it in 91 with Ray Williams, where they also took the doggone interferon and also set up the basis for what you call the Ebola today. Ebola was part of the study on this Ebola that you got today is based on the interferon things and the Atlanta child murders. You see what I'm saying? That's what the deal is. Now, check this out. They set up this trial. This trial is all a fucking stage show. First of all, they come out with a movie, The Fugitive, summer of 1993. Let's go down this fucking timeline. Going down this timeline. They put out this movie based on the 1960s TV show. 93, of a man falsely accused of killing his wife. It's Fugitive. Or you just reaching for shit, nigga. Okay. Well, let's see if we're reaching for shit. Let's go on. Then they put out a movie 2 or 3 months before Nicole is murdered. A movie called The Chase. A movie called The Chase with, what's the boy who played it? Charlie Sheen. This is a movie showing the event that's about to occur within the months to come. Now, in the movie, he's already convicted of a crime. He gets in a car and he takes this girl hostage, a blonde girl. They're in this chase. The police find out about it, and the doggone media find out about it, and they got this whole chase scene going. And they're showing this big chase scene in the movie. Now, who would know that this would go accurately 2 or 3 months later? Because the movie was released in the spring of 1994, The Chase. Let's go on. Let's see. In the movie, the girl asked him, you are a murderer, like all people suspect, because the doggone TV set is viewing him as a murderer. He says, I'm not a murderer. I was wrongly convicted because I was an innocent man. But I had a cut on my hand, and they used the DNA from the cut to frame me. damn it, if that ain't the same shit, you don't have that kind of coincidence. But they had a faulty lab. And the evidence was faulty, but they framed me anyway. They framed me anyway. Let's go on. The movie The Chase with Charlie Sheen. Who is Kato Kaelin's best friend? Charlie Sheen. Didn't he go to the wedding? Now hell, if that ain't a coincidence, something going on. Well, let's go a little further then. Let's go a little further. First of all, they killed O.J. Simpson and cloned him before the whole shit went down. Although he didn't do the killing. Let's go on. They cloned him, and they cloned Nicole too. See, Ron Goldman just was at the wrong place at the fucking wrong time. He got taken out. They put her on a doggone island somewhere. This is what we get now. Because I'm trying to say, I said, well, wait a minute. There's some holes in this at first. I said, well, at first I said, if they got a movie of a man being wrongly convicted and cut his hand, and they frame him off of the DNA off of the cut on his hand, and they have a big chase scene, which we know is the movie. Go see the movie The Chase, Charlie Sheen. How could O.J., if a movie came out a couple of months, how could he go and cut his hand? You understand what I'm saying? Not unless he was a clone. And they programmed the clone to cut his hand. Or if he's cloned, they can black that clone out, cut his hand, black him back in. Program it into his memory. See the show Nowhere Man. Come on every Monday night. Give me all the shit on the damn New World Order. It ain't on the fucking X-Files. That's one part. But they wishy-washy. See the Nowhere Man. Channel 69, the Universal Paramount Network. You remember one show where they had the girl sitting in front of the camera and he was asleep? And she programmed herself in his dreams, and he fell in love with her in his dreams. When he woke up, she was already in a part of his memory. Come on, 9 o'clock. Yeah, right. 9 o'clock. Now, check this out. Check this out. Okay, so they programmed him and they set up the whole thing. Check this baby out. The whole courtroom, straight up clones. All of them. Straight up clones. The jury, no, wait a minute. The jury, his lawyers, the prosecution, and Judge Ito. Now check this out. Remember Johnny Cochran and them came on late. That was Michael Jackson's lawyer. He came on late. We got some papers from doggone Detroit where, what's his name, both, what's the other guy? Shapiro and the other guy. No, the other one. Shapiro. No, not Barry Sheck. Barry Sheck and Johnny Cochran. F.B. Bailey, they was on the side of the prosecution. They was working that shit. The reason why I know Shapiro, how the hell you gonna be winning favors from the prosecution and winning favors to get a just trial and you gonna go and make fun of damn Japanese and you know the fucking judges are Japanese? Let's go a little further. First of all, Kato Kaelin was in on this shit from the get-go. He came on anyway. When did he come on? First of all, this is the deal. He came on about around 1992. Same time the whole Roger King incident. It's all phase 2. He got up in there and he was working with the government. They told him, we want you to be in the house at the right time to make sure nobody else don't come there. Yeah, I'll come in to visit O.J., his family members, and blow the plan. And we set up everything. You're going to let us in. We're going to plant the socks and all this. And we promise to, what little bit of the movie career you got, we promise to give you a little bit of, revitalize your movie career, whatever that shit. Start off with some more. Because remember, the first thing he went to a presidential ball. And what the hell is Kato Kaelin doing going to a presidential ball? You see what I'm saying? Okay. Okay, check this out. Now, Kato Kaelin, all of them in there, next thing we know, they got another ball. Who's hanging out together but Kato Kaelin and fucking Shapiro? They got a party, both of them hanging out together. You see what I'm saying? All hooked up. Let's go on. Now, if you notice, but like I said, Kato Kaelin best friends with Charlie Sheen. It made the movie called The Chase.
which is the O.J. Simpson trial. All right. What the deal is Judge Ito, remember when the damn trial, when the tapes, they could go off and on. You remember when the tapes was going, when they had the tapes and he broke down, started crying because his fucking wife was part of that. No, wait a minute. Now, hold on. Now, let's look at this thing. How in the hell are they going to pick a judge whose wife is the head of the LAPD in whom the damn defense is saying framing damn O.J.? That's a conflict of interest. Don't tell us now that the trial is over that you're talking about the conflict of interest when the tapes come up and her ass on the tapes. You see what I'm saying? He starts crying and start breaking down. They go in and switch the fucking clone, and that motherfucker come back straight up, no nonsense. No nonsense. At all. The only reason why the what's the name was not the players and it was all set up. You can understand it was all set up because the media got right on it from day one. It was a big media event. You see what I'm saying? The shit was all set up. Why the hell who you think gonna make? They can't afford to make those kind of big deals with CNN. You understand where I'm coming from? With CNN and all of that, and all around the world, and for that shit to be a real trial. Just like you watch a TV show, that's what you was watching. But the players was all in on that thing. OJ, the reason why the gloves didn't fit, because they had that clone his ass, and the fucking other clone had the damn hands was too fucking big. Those was his gloves, because damn Kaylin gave them to him. You see what I'm saying? Kaylin gave them to him. You see. All that. Now the key is, Johnny Cochran was a thorn in the side. They say, okay, cool, don't make no difference, because even though Johnny Cochran can put on program, the fucking jury, straight up robots. I tell you, this shit is real. Get the Matrix 2. They're dealing with all, that's what they're dealing with. The West Side, they might be black, and they putting on this stage show, straight up robot. Well, somebody was saying, what's the motive? The motive is they're trying to establish martial law. They're trying to get phase 2 of the march that the doggone government started of the riot, that the government started with Rodney incident. You see what I'm saying? Now, the movie comes out to even add insult to injury called Just Cause. A movie about a knife and somebody cutting up some white girls. They say, well, hell, we can't say that. They say because this movie was written before the O.J. incident, but when was it written? Well, the guy started writing on it in 1992. Fucking government had done staged the shit. He was writing on it right as phase 2. They was getting ready. They orchestrated this whole thing because all what you see on that TV right now is all choreographed to the fucking T. You see. So now, the doggone jury, straight up robots, straight up clones. So it don't make no difference. They gonna convict them of. Hoping that in some type of degree it's gonna start a right. That's what they're hoping. Or the doggone race relations and all that kind of thing. You see. That's what they're hoping. You see. But now the key is most young people don't even know who the hell O.J. Simpson is. The ones that's gonna be out there fighting. Shit, O.J. Simpson was gone. O.J. Simpson was gone out of the limelight for 16 years now. You see what I'm saying? So now, this whole thing is choreographed around this whole kid. Now, who else? Michael Jackson, straight up clone. The whole deal is what you're thinking about the doggone skin, the whole acid pill. If you see the last videos, he's white. They say he's white all the way down to his penis. That's because they got the genetic engineering going. The other one is in a concentration camp in Europe. You see, straight up clone.
Such a touchy subject, but I'm waiting to see.
Appearance. What's up with everybody, man? Make sure y'all sub up to the channel, man. How many votes we got? We got 109. Everybody get their votes in, man. Get up to your local poll, man. Get your vote in. Head to your nearest poll looking ass. I'm gonna get some I'm gonna get some more videos up. What's up with everybody, man? Who we got up in there? Appreciate everybody for tapping into the love. Make sure y'all sub up to the channel, man.
If there's something fucked up in your life because you got some family somewhere with some kind of thing, you trying to live up to something with somebody else. In the spirit world, what you call your family is not really your family at all. See, what happens is this: these souls get down here through choosing a certain path or a certain vessel to come through. Once it gets down here, they are your family in the rearing stages. Once you are grown, they no longer are your family anymore. That's why you can be conscious and trying to do some stuff that your family don't want to hear it. You see what I'm saying? They're not your family anymore like you think. You have no relationship with them. Certain things happen also. Some souls come down here to teach the parents. And some souls come down here to get taught some type of lesson by a parent. But when you become enlightened, you are a star child, which means in so many words, you're not even related to those people. You see what I'm saying? You get fired off of a job, you can damn sure quit one. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, and it was funny because I had a friend that when I was at Clark, he was at Morehouse, and he got on the police force, and he was right there in the AU Center, and they stopped this black girl, and she had 2 children in the car, and the little white guy was up there looking at he was standing by the car, the white cop, and the black guy that I knew, he was back there talking to the sister, and he came back up and told the white guy, said she got a little attitude, and the white guy said, so what you want me to do, run her in? He said, yeah, don't make a damn bit of difference to me. And they went and grabbed her, and she bumped her head getting in the car, and the 2 children was hollering and stuff like this. And I'm looking at this damn Negro. And so I'm looking at her, and I was like, man, you done sold the fuck out, And then a few years later, he's complaining that something went down, and they kicked him off the police force based on something that was borderline brutality. And so he was actually had a legitimate case that in actuality they kicked him off for something he didn't want to do. And he was telling my man, one of my boys, Glenn, we was all good friends together about it. And I was like, I'm glad they kicked him off. I guess that's the spirit doing it and all, This brother, arresting people right in front of the babies and all. So I'm saying, it's got to the point where it's no excuse. It's no excuse. We can't take that excuse no more saying a motherfucker just doing his job and we got to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not even a deal.
He said, so there's a code. I don't know, man. Let me know, man. Seem like a lot of people have been throwing up the rock lately, man. Y'all sub up to the channel and get y'all votes in. Let me know what y'all think. We got 110 votes. We got the polls booming. They can't even get that many votes at the regular polls. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get up there and vote, man. And it's your big boss, Guala Band's back in the building, man. That's why they be trying to take my polls away. You know what I'm saying? When I go live, they be taking my polls away.
It's like a mustard seed. It's inside of us. Inside that mustard seed is the whole universe. Dr. Seuss made a damn cartoon about an elephant with a little piece of dust on a flower. And inside the flower was a whole fucking universe, a whole damn other city. And that's what we're talking about here at this particular time. At this particular time. So now let's go on so we can understand something. In this book, one of the most ancient names for God was called Camethus. Camethus. And Camethus, which is one of the most ancient names for God, they took the A off and you get the word Memphis. It's Camethus. You take the K-A off, you get the word Memphis. So the word Memphis, even in Egypt, is another name for the ancient god, which was Sut. But another word is Camethus. And it's which is another, and so the word Memphis, Tennessee or whatever, because one name after the other, is another ancient for the actual god Sut, also too. Also too. In here, in Hermetic, they talk about the time when we first fell into these bodies, and they go into, oh Lord, out of England, the book that came from England, what's the name of that book? No, Book of Phenomenon by Kenneth Raynham Johnson. Now it's called The Alchemist. It's called The Immortal. Anyway, he even said it was also the Noah's flood was actually thinking of Atlantis, and Atlantis being one landmass. Even Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. A.C. Hilliard, Ranoka Rashidi, and all of the big scholars do believe, as well as most European scholars, that the Earth was one landmass at one time, and they just said it had a continental drift. But the real deal was it had that cataclysmic explosion, and that brought about Atlantis. So they had a TV special on NBC about a year ago, and they were saying that they had portions of Atlantis being near Haiti, portions of Bimini, the Atlantic Ocean, in Greece and Mesopotamia, and then you even have reports of Lemuria being near Australia. So what it is the key is they are all right. They're finding different artifacts of things and civilizations that are sank beneath the ocean, but what they didn't realize is that it was one landmass and the pieces that you might call that, and the confusion is that the one landmass theory back together, you would understand that it would make this enigma go away as far as how could the Atlantis be in Mesopotamia or near Greece, as well as near all of the whole Atlantic Ocean, or even on the coast all the way to South America, and you know your whole Bermuda Triangle has a lot of that. So dealing with that now, dealing with that, the greatest scholars like
Y'all sub up to the channel, man. Get y'all votes in, man. Y'all think LeBron sold out or what? And it's your big boss, Squalla Bands, back in the building. I already know who took the oath before I jump on here, by the way. But, just to let y'all know, we will be watching Looking Ass. Everybody sub up to the channel and hit that like button.
But my point is, when I started lecturing, it was overwhelming amount of evidence. As a matter of fact, in 1994, they even showed the big pictures of the gods of Houthi on the side of the wall somewhere in the Easter Island, and also in Australia. So the big heads in Easter Island, so there's overwhelming evidence, even the text. And that's the problem that we have. We're going to talk
Appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Y'all hit that like button. Shout out to all my mods. OG, what's the deal? Triple, what's the deal? LSD, Hit, Fambo Podcast, man, what's the deal? Abdullah, Beans and Rice. Appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Catherine. Appreciate y'all, man.
He took it that we were conscious and all, because he saw Brother Box had and all, he saw the Africa, he saw the arms and stuff. So he asked the question, well, if melanin, he said, if we have melanin, what was the question? If we, what? It's a black guy. What would be the difference between the melanin? We know we have surface melanin, but what would make a white person white? You know, what would make a white person white? And what the key was, I said, well, do you know that the only evidence I have is supports the Yahoo theory based on archaeological evidence? Oh, I don't believe that. Well, wait a minute now. And then he said that, and basically he was trying to make a point with his damn question. He already made up his mind what he believed. You know what I'm saying? So why the fuck I ask a question? You already made up your mind. Why you asking? Why you even get into this if you gonna make up your mind? You know what I'm saying? So he said, well, I don't believe that. So he said, well, I said, well, what about genes flash? And I said, they showed they cloned two doggone sheep. I didn't get into the real thing with their they cloned
time that they couldn't be just a people of just intellectual learning. They were forced into the imperial age. They would have to go to war, not just go to war just to take over people's land, but just to secure Canaan. So, and remember I told you that they didn't do anything outside of religion. Nothing. Everything they did it inside of the religion. So what they had to do is, because their God is not a God of war, but they have a God that's a principle inside of their pantheon that is a God of war. Then what they had to do was they had to balance set beside Amun Ra, or beside Horus. They had to balance. This would take them into war, just to secure. Now I want to get into one thing about this. These different pantheons. You keep that back. What happened is you got a lot of people saying, well, damn, they worship all the pagan gods, a whole bunch of gods, and all. B. Wallace Budge, from Fetish to God, this book here was written the last year of life. He said, first 1 or 2 pages, he said that I was 15 when I wrote Gods of the Egyptians. 15 years later, I found out that I was wrong the whole time, that it was monotheistic from it. It's just that they understood that there were different aspects of God, and God was a vast God. And he had different natures, different components. And when you put them all together like a jigsaw puzzle, it represented one. You understand? But Asa here, he was talking to Listabel Middleton on the, what's the name of that? What's the name of the show? For All the People. Right. He was talking to Listabel, and Listabel asked him, he said, well, I want to ask a question. Because I know that we're taking this from a biblical concept of why we would think that polytheism would be wrong. He said, let's just think, okay, you said that it was monotheistic and it had different components, different principles, and God's represented principles. He said, so what about if it was polytheism? Would that be wrong? And he said, no, not necessarily. And then you get some people arguing, well, how can you remember all them gods? I want to ask you something. You can take one brother out here. He can remember 20 basketball teams, 20 football teams. So you got 34 pantheons, 35. He can remember 20 basketball teams, 20 football teams, 20 baseball teams. Remember all the players, not the players that play on the starting lineup, the players that sit on the, but they play 500 balls. Or not, the whole schedule, they take the schedule 10 years back about who won the championship in 1986, going back to 69. Then he can tell you 200 songs, 200 artists that wrote the songs and made the songs, who produced the songs. You mean to tell me you can't learn 37 people? You see how we've been, we can learn all this foolishness. These people are the primary force of these people. God was everything. You mean to tell me from birth on up, they couldn't learn 37 gods and their principles? Everything is related to them. You see? So, the concept of God was monotheistic all the time. It had several principles. And this is called a new God. Remember I said that the God of Kemet was the God of knowledge, and those principles represented science. And this is the knowledge of God. And any God, this one God, this spook God, is the ignorant God. It's a God with no characteristics. And the characteristics of God is this fellow said. This fellow, when you're talking about a God with no characteristics, but then again, when we look at the characteristics of the God, we are a God of fire and brimstone, and a God of, he's an unapproachable God. You can't even deal with him. He's a...
What's up with y'all, man? Who we got up in there, man? Y'all still watching that, y'all still watching the World Cup? bad, y'all. I'm trying to get through my notes. He said, "Just watch the Last Kingdom YouTube. I'm gonna check that out." Everybody hit the like button and sub up to the channel, man. We had 120 votes. Get y'all votes in, man. They wish they could get. They wish they could get they pose jumping like this at the real pose. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this ain't the presidential election, man. This that real spill. Has LeBron sold out? Y'all get y'all votes in, man.
Okay, now. The different stages: shamanic, amateur, spiritual religion, pagan, monotheist. That's when the white boy come up in there. Atheist.
He said who he's selling out to. He doesn't own anything.
And
So
chaos. And all this time is really not that bad. That's
he
pretty
has
good.
helped more people
So
than
we
we
were
will
fucking
ever
on, but
help.
then again, we just talking about the people in this room. We ain't talking about the niggas out on the street. And then Pan-Demon. Now, Pan-Demon is supposed to be the last realm. You get the word pandemonium from that. Okay. Now, remember, the white boy on the thing, everybody saw this thing, the white boy talking about the Mayan calendar. And he was talking about how time was going to be sped up. And people were going to go crazy. And people was going to go crazy. And the only way they was going to be able to save themselves was to get into the zone like a basketball player or a football player who's able to function on an enormous amount of pressure, but they get into a zone.
That's what I get into a zone. I ain't gonna lie. I zone out. What's up with everybody, man? Y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all get y'all votes in too. Up top in the corner. Get your vote in. Don't be no buster. You know what I'm saying? It's too early to be waking up on that buster shit, man. Go ahead and get y'all vote in, man.
We was talking about the people in this room. We ain't talking about the niggas out on the street. And then Pan-Demon. Now, Pan-Demon is supposed to be the last realm. You get the word pandemonium from that. Okay. Now, remember, there's a white boy on the thing. Everybody saw this thing. The white boy talking about the Mayan calendar. And he was talking about how time was going to be sped up. And people were going to go crazy. And people was going to go crazy. And the only way they was going to be able to save themselves was to get into the zone like a basketball player or a football player who's able to function on an enormous amount of pressure, but they get into a zone. They get into a zone and stuff like that. I said, well, hell, that's black people, period. Just be fucked up and be in the zone, gotta laugh about the shit. I said, well, we good to go then. And they said if they didn't get into the zone, they were just gonna just disperse and just go crazy. Well, in so many words, that's the realm that we in now. It's the Pan-Demon realm or the Pandemonium realm, which is named after the god Pan. Okay. They give you this one. Put this one on there. which is the god Pan. Put that one on. It's named after the god Pan. Anybody step and check this altar out in the living room? Right here? You see, he did that. Yeah. Now this is the god Pan, the goat god Pan, and we're talking about that because we are what in what? Capricorn. You just go down some a little bit. Can they see? Cause just take it on down. Take it down past me. Yeah, that's good enough. The goat god Pan. Now Pan is teaching Olympus, which you get the word the Olympics. It's coming from a god Olympus. But what is he teaching the god Olympus? The god Olympus is going to be a great hero. He's teaching him the gift of music. Teaching him the gift of music, which is one, but his realm is the realm of Pan. Pandemonium. So how do you get through the pandemonium? Through the gift of music. See what I'm saying? Now Saturn, the new look of the old devil, which is talking about Capricorn. And Capricorn is known as the great chastiser. It's called the black planet, and it chastises those not for mean-spiritedness or something or evil. It chastises you to whip you in shape for better, so that you can do better and go about certain amount of things. You see what I'm saying? By having this chastisement. Well, Lord knows we know about that. But he's the panic state. And by him being the panic state, you see, and he's also the chastiser, he's the one that whips you into shape. So in some of he's the one that whips you into shape. So in so many words, this whole thing that we've been going through, especially the last 15 years, you know what I'm saying? I say 15 of the last, let's say from the late 80s. You know, because we had the 70s, we partied, we did this kind of thing, and then the late 80s came in, and Reagan came up in that motherfucker and gave us that cheese and shit, and that ketchup and shit he was talking about, and by the end of the 80s and stuff, they fucked around and introduced that crack, and it was on. Then all kind of things started tearing down. But that was a form of a realm for us that we have already gone through. Now we are the ones that's characteristic of the realm in which this panic is talking about for them. Our consciousness is right on it, because we can survive. You see, we can survive. But they're talking about this particular time and all this particular stuff that's going on, whereas if you're not in the zone. But the key here is now, because of this particular realm, you got to identify with the zone by identifying in your mind as a little child, which means you're going to have to break out of what things that are so important that you think is so damn serious.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Because you think it's so serious, and as a result, your soul can correspond to that. Because the only thing that blocks your soul from corresponding with these particular, these higher levels is this ego or this particular importance that this white man done gave you, such as a career and all kinds of stuff, in the way. Are you feeling less than a human because you didn't develop as a success in this damn society? What? Success with what? What the fuck is success? You know what I'm saying? Me, success might be, goddammit, I'm downtown, I'm thirsty, and I get a cold soda. Shit. That's success for me. My goals are limited. You know what I'm saying? I don't look for much in life no more. Just like that nigga on the corner, you be like, you don't look for much in life no more. I'm about the same damn way. I don't look for much in life no more. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to say, so this pan now, the point I'm trying to make with this is this. the pan, let me give you the story. We got a Pan statue. You can't buy this shit out the store. You can't buy that stuff. That's some shit that's gonna come from some white folks. But they got a Goodwill down the street here in the West End. The Goodwill in the West End flanks Morehouse, Spelman, Clark Atlanta, and all that. So the white boys say, send all the good shit there, because them niggas there supposed to have class.
Shango, what's the deal? Real Spill. The Monstrous, what's the deal? Triple. All my mods. Y'all get y'all votes in, man. We had 130 votes. They can't even get that many votes at the regular presidential election.
And they got money. So they get the stuff from Whitney Houston and all that out in Alpharetta, all this rich, expensive shit. And they send it all to the West End. So, because they're dealing with white folks, and white folks is into all the pan, they get into all that kind of shit. Them, especially them rich with nothing been around the world, they know about all this shit. So they sent a statue of Pan up in there one day, and I got the statue. So last Thanksgiving of 2004, a sister came through and said, let's get the ritual going on the day before Thanksgiving. And so we was up in here, and we had some corn liquor. We was passing that shit around. And the sister say, that damn statue is goddamn frowning and smiling at me and teasing me. And she got scared as shit. I knew the shit had some energy, so about August, he made Linda move him and put him on a little pedestal in the corner back here in the back of the house in the kitchen. So then he told her one day, you need to move me to the front. That little thing said, move him to the front. And then he just started coming through. And so you say, well, what is the energy now? The whole time when you register this stuff, if you're thinking it's the statue or some spirit around the statue, you don't get it. It's some shit that's coming through in us. And if you're thinking it's only you, that's the ego gonna throw you off, because it's in all of us. It's just that we got different capacities. See what I'm saying? So if you say, oh, it's here, you're talking to me, you the baby Jesus. I might be the Christ. No, if you're thinking it's that, then that's the ego saying, oh, I might be the Christ. This is a frequency that all of us have, and the only reason why we don't all exhibit it at the same time, because we got different capacities, but it's all one species. You see what I'm saying? Whereas the whole world is still looking for some Lord Maitreya or some one man to come back to lead a bunch of idiots where? It's a frequency. You see, now, so what it is he said, now, I want some toys. I said, some toys, he wants some horns, and he want a whole lot of childlike stuff. And all, because he's a baby, the energy baby. Then he says, I'm going to set up a whole realm. So although I'm having the experience, it's not me, this house, or anything that has something to do with me. You see, this is when you fuck up, when you thinking it's you, and it's the consciousness of all the people that's in the conscious level. Or why would somebody come back for one nigga? You know what I'm saying? Some stupid shit like that. So there's just so see, he's sitting in an arch doorway in the thing. So the doorway is not necessarily talking about, oh, you special, this is about you. No. He's saying the doorway is open, and the only thing you're doing is you are being privy to view what's happening to the rest of the people. You see what I'm saying? So it's in us. We're in Capricorn now. You see what I'm saying? We're in Capricorn now, and sometimes it's best when you don't have this facade that you got to put on around people that you will meet every day, that you got to be a certain caliber or a certain type of certain status to fool people. Sometimes it's just good to, like, you know what I'm saying? Just fuck it. You know, let your hair down. That's a white person terminology. But I'm just trying to say, you know, it can be that. The concept here is that childlike behavior. So now, the point here is this. Now, going back to Christmas, he said, you know, that used to be my holiday, but it was lost and then was later on picked up because a group of people that traveled up into Europe and taught the Europeans this. They preserved it with the trees and the green and the pine. And he said that used to be my holiday thousands of years ago, because Pan is a god. The goat just means a forest or a nature god. Or a nature god. You know, yeah. Take that and put that. It's a nature god, you see. And so what he's saying here is that used to be my time. And I said, oh, I get it. They've been celebrating this birth of Jesus and all this stuff during Christmas, and all of a sudden this motherfucker comes through. So in so many words, what I'm trying to say, to break this down and reiterate this, is nothing but the ultimate form of your consciousness coming through. When Awas or Horace told Crawley, he said, that Horace is waiting for you, and it's all about the child. Child represents the new beginning. When the child shows up, that's the beginning of it. And the child was birthed out of trauma. Remember the Katrina thing? They had the Katrina, then they told them they had to December, then they was going to stop paying bills. You see what I'm saying? See, all this stuff coincides. Let me give you an example. Now, they know some stuff is going on because they killed Luther in June. Now, let's look at this. Now, Luther had a stroke in the spring of 2003. Survived it, lived all of 2004, and most of 2000.
What's up with everybody, man? Y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all get y'all votes in. And, yeah, man. We're going to keep breaking this stuff down. Keep y'all updated. We watching you, LeBron, looking ass nigga.
5. Go to the hospital for a routine checkup and end up dead. And he was 51 or 52. And yet, we got an old, decrepit ass American Bandstand motherfucker, Dick Clark, get a damn stroke, had to learn how to walk and talk all over again. And the next thing you know, he missed a year because he had the stroke right before Christmas. A year later, this motherfucker hosting the dropping of the ball of Times Square. And he's 71 years old and made it back from a stroke. And yet, a stroke from a year later, and Luther went 2 years damn near and get killed in the hospital. Took his ass right out of here. And took him out. I don't know where that came from. I guess he must have wanted me to say something about it. But one of the keys about Pan here now is you can't judge. Now let me give you an example. Pan here in India with the flute is a god named Krishna. Now Krishna, they say Horus got thousands of things where they can look at Horus and Jesus and say, well, Jesus came from Horus. And they say they even got more than that when it comes to Krishna. Because the tradition survived to what they have now. They still live it. The people who worship Krishna. This is the key. Krishna, I saw this thing on National Geographic about a warrior named Orva. Now, Orva was this warrior, was the greatest warrior ever. And so they say, warrior, all this time for you to go on to the next realm. So Orva said, I don't mind dying. I don't mind dying. He said, Hey, you know, yeah. Say, I don't mind dying. And you just step on around and you'll find your way on round that way. You know, that's Bob and Juliet. So he said, I don't mind dying if I could get married and have a night of passionate love. So, Krishna, Jesus, now this is Jesus now. I'm listening to this story, turns himself into a female and has a night of passionate love with Arthur. Then the next day, he turns himself back to a man and kills Arthur. So they got all these units. I'm going to show you what the thing of the story going on how they got Christians and all these kind of people that's locked out of the shit, and how we grow up judging. So, and we the main people be judged all the time. They judge black people all over the world. So, they got all these eunuchs and transvestites and all these things. They travel down. You see, and I'm telling you this because I have to reiterate this shit. I'm a heterosexual telling you this goddamn story. See what I'm saying? I want to tell you that. But it's only through a heterosexual that I can tell you this story, which make it spiritual. You see what I'm saying? If y'all have caught me slobbing on somebody's knob or doing some dookie love sometime, you might say, well, oh, that nigga just making a case for his own little, sexual desires or whatever type thing. No. I'm a heterosexual telling the story because I'm listening to this damn story. So they got all these people, they come down and they dress up as Krishna every year, transvestites, eunuchs, homosexuals, and all this, and the Indian government give them one day to do this shit, and they get married to Arthur as Krishna. Now I'm looking at this damn story and I'm going, well, what is the damn goal with this thing? I'm saying, oh, I get it. This is a much more ancient religion.
Y'all hit that like button, man. Sub up to the channel. And it's your big boss, Squalor Bands, back with another one, man. Appreciate everybody that tapped in. Make sure y'all get y'all votes in at the top.
And what they was doing was saying that you can't judge nothing down here because you don't understand the realm of spirit. This is all physical. There ain't no such thing as male and female. Now let me show you what she was talking about to let you know that this got something to do with something spiritual. They had a brother Panic, this brother named Panic, called me, and he said, you remember a tape, a movie called Paris? Because the Christianity will tell you, not only homosexual, they will tell you that everything is based on a series of judging anything that ain't considered in the realm of their dogma or their Christianity. So what happens is you set up a level of judging everything around you and everybody who does not adhere to your philosophy. You see what I'm saying? And as a result, it enhances the damn ego and shuts you down, and you can't never get to the spirit realm. You see what I'm saying? So it does the opposite. It's like one guy said, listen, what was you doing when you was a great Christian? He said, all I know is I had a whole group of friends around me. My crowd was larger. He said, and we raised ourselves up by leveling others outside of ourselves about how these motherfuckers is going to hell. You see what I'm saying? So the story was here about Krishna. If Krishna could turn himself up into a woman, you see what I'm saying? Now that's the Christ. But see, they would rule all that type of stuff out. It ain't got nothing to do with no homosexuality. It's got something to do with you going inside of yourself and saying, not even just homosexuality, not even judging nobody around you, not judging nothing. They say, oh, fuck it. They don't know what the hell they're doing. It's an illusion. You see what I'm saying? It's an illusion. I don't know where the hell I was going with this shit, but about this Paris is burning. This is where I was going with it. The government studies our people. There was a movie called Paris is Burning that came out in 1993 about a bunch of gay motherfuckers in New York nightlife. And these guys could sew, they could dance, they did everything, the art shit. They would sew clothes, they would do all kind of shit. They would put on these galas. And I said, I heard about this thing. So you know me, I'm analyzing all the shit. About 2 years ago, I saw the shit. I said, let me watch this shit, see what these faggot ass niggas is doing. I said, I watched this shit. And the brother said, you remember the thing Paris is Burning? I said, I saw that movie. The brother panicked. He said, well, there's something about you saying you can't judge nobody no more. He said, the government done came in, and although you call them all faggots and shit, so the government came in, and every black man that was in that movie, they killed them all. Now, what is it with their energy? What is it with their energy that's got some shit that they're doing that the government has to go and kill them all? Because apparently, whatever it was, there's the white homosexual and there was some black men who had tapped into their feminine side, which the government said, hey, they ain't really homosexuals. They just some people that, because they're gods, they're just showing another side of the feminine side. So they're looking at them as gods. They're looking at them as gods. And the government rolled in and killed every last one. So you all worried about faggots ain't going to heaven and all this kind of shit. And I'm saying, yet the government is see something in them brothers was so powerful that they roll in and kill them all.
Yes.
And I'm saying, well, here it is again. You can't be judging when you tracking the damn energy. When you tracking the energy. You see, so that's what this whole thing is. So Pan says, I'm coming in and I'm setting up a whole new mystical realm. But the mystical realm here is we got to become more childlike. Now, I'm not talking about the difference of, you know what I'm saying, doing something just plain stupid. We're not talking about a physical act. We're talking about in your mind. You know what I'm saying? In your mind, you got to become to a particular point, whereas this particular shit becomes alien. And whatever you have, whatever device, whatever vice, whatever thing you got, whether it's some chocolate cookies or whatever, you got to get it. Whatever it does to take you to that particular realm, that's where you got to go with the shit.
What's up with everybody, man? Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Who we got up in there? Triple, what's the deal? All my mods that tapped in. Slugs. Shango, Real Spill, Ralph. What's the deal, man? The Monsters. Appreciate everybody that tapped in. Hit, Awaken, I see you.
That particular realm, that's where you got to go with the shit. You see, that's where you got to go. Whatever it is, it might be some new shit. I'm constantly looking for new stuff to get with that particular child realm. You see, and it might be something that you might not have to stick with it all the time, because if you stick with it all the time, it dies. It might be something that you might just need one time, and then you might need to go to the next level the next time. It might be something new the next month. But whatever it is, it's got to do something that's got to relax your mind, because when you relax your mind and you get in that childlike state, guess what happens? That realm starts to come through, and that's when your magical powers start. You see, if I didn't believe the difference between me rubbing that album last week and the sparks shooting out of my hand, I woke Linda up to see the shit. I said, no, this shit came in 2000 when I was doing a nigga Peasy blanket, had a nappy blanket on his bed, and I was up in someplace at a lecture. And I rubbed it, and nobody was around. And Ginger said, you don't need to tell that story to nobody. They don't think you crazy. So I said, no, fuck that. Linda, get up out the bed. I woke her up and said, you got to go see this thing here. But had I not believed, this is all a mind thing, had I not believed that it had happened, if it didn't happen before, and I said, oh, that shit is impossible, I couldn't rub that album. It's a matter of your belief now. If you can believe this shit now, it's to the point now, if you can believe it, the shit can become real. You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying here is it's so powerful now you can get up sick. And I did it last year. I got up and had some shit coming down. I said, God damn it, on that fucking subway train, all them nasty ass people. Something was coming down and shit. And I got up and I ain't had no medicine in the cabinet. I just took what was in there like it was healing a nigga. And it was some shit, one of it was a damn peach soda. I said, this peach soda got some vitamin C citrus in it. Now the shit on the can say, this motherfucker ain't got nothing but sugar, water, and peach color. But I drank that shit down, and that shit healed a nigga ass. Because I put it up in the brain.
That's right.
I put it up in the brain. Now, we was up in there one day, and we was up in the 7-Mile, the health food store, and we asked for something, and the white woman took us to the back. She said, now, you know you can do this shit with your mind. What the fuck? I said, you know. She said, you know all this shit up in here and all. These white folks got this capitalism. They got all this stuff. And I'm like, damn, all this health food shit, our people, man, can't afford half this shit. They said, you know you can do this shit with your mind. And so I took some peach soda and drank that shit down. Say, this shit is some damn high vitamin C. And that shit knocked out whatever that flu or something was coming on. But the key here is to get a group of grown people to start believing in the magic. Peter Pan. Now, there was two movies. The one that Hook came out, and the one that came out in 2003. Hook came out in 1991 with Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams. And the other one came out, a new one came out in 2003. That's why they had to goddamn level Michael Jackson and get him up out the goddamn country. Because he was talking about the Peter Pan. And they say, what happened? They say, Peter Pan, they say, in the Hook with Robin Williams, he stopped believing in the magic and stopped believing that the shit was real. And he grew up. And when he went back to movie, when he went back to Never Never Land, what did he have to do? It took the rest of the movie to convince him that that shit was real. And once you convince yourself that this shit is real, the powers would come. The powers would come. Get the movie Incredible and see them powers. Them was all black people. You see. So, once I knew it, so I said, no, wait a minute now. I said, I can't. I said, because it happened in 2000, I'll never be able to do it again. Because I didn't have a peasy rug, I figured. I didn't have no peasy blanket that the guy had a ball of knotty head blanket on. So I figured because I didn't have a blanket, when I rubbed my hand in the sparks on the man blanket in his house, I figured I couldn't do it no more. Yeah.
That's what that's on.
Well, must have was. But I went back, and so the second day, this happened Sunday night. I was rubbing them sparks, and the second day I said, let me see, can I do this shit again? And I went and I did it again. But I found out another thing too. When I would pull the albums out of the stack that I hadn't played, they wouldn't do it. It was only the ones that I put on the turntable and played both sides. Then the spark shoot out the shit. I said, oh, this is why they had to get rid of all of that stuff. That's why they had to get rid of the stuff in the music and all of this type of thing. But the key here is going back. It's the stuff they tell you right now. What it is with us is we got to get back to that particular level. But we're into our careers. And we're into worrying about whether I measure up as a damn success. For a white man that in actuality, the success that he's in now, man, they into buying motherfucking whole oceans. They ain't even into no, well, I got a $40,000 a year job, I make $100,000. These motherfuckers is buying oceans and shit.
What's up with y'all, man? Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Get y'all votes in, man. What y'all think about LeBron? LeBron, we watching you, Custer.
you got a small building, I'll buy the space over your building to build over. That's the kind of shit these crackers, you'll never be able to match that kind of shit. But then again, on the other hand, you in his shit when you supposed to be in your goddamn house. And the shit is about the damn magic. It's about the magic, you see. So I mean, Pan is coming through, and I'm telling you, it's some stuff. And so it's now to the point where, as you know, it's all about, it's just like they say it was going to rain Tuesday. Now, they said it was going to rain Monday tonight. And I said, nah, that shit ain't going to rain. Now, I used to have to wait till the day it do and say, nah, you ain't going to do this. But now, I put it in my mind on Monday night, and then Thursday, they came through. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be...
Renald, Shay, Easy the Truth, Triple, 2-Story, what's the deal? That boy say 2-Story, 1982, Daily Juice, Jason, Zach, all my mods, Slugs, Real Spills, Shango, what's the
wind
deal?
blowing. That's the wind blowing because it was supposed to rain, and because that shit got interrupted and the wind came. You see, so this is some stuff that we're dealing with right now. You see, so, but I just wanted to put that out there. Let's see, let's go on. Got a couple of things. Let's see right here. Let's see here. This is interesting. There's a movie called Earthsea. It's a movie called Earthsea. Came out last year. Movie with Danny Glover in it. And he's training this little white boy how to use his magic. But Danny Glover want to take a couple of years to train him right. Now, he got on what you call that, the skull cap that the Muslims wear? Is that a kufi with the skull cap one too? That's a kufi too? Okay, he got on a Muslim kufi. I want to make a distinction between an African kufi. And the little white boy got on one. And he's teaching him. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this some more that Danny Glover's doing? And then Danny Glover say, I can't. You want to do some accelerated shit. I'm going to take a couple of years. He said, now you want some faster, you need to go to the school, one of my schools that I was trained at. And he sent him to the school and they was doing all this magic in this particular school. And I said, oh, these crackers done made a whole movie on the Moors in Spain training little white boys. And the only thing they did is they make the teachers white and you don't get it. And I said, oh, that's what the Harry Potter series was about. What's the name of Hogwarts School and shit? That was, and those clans, that was all the Moors.
Y'all hit that like button, man. Sub up to the channel. Make sure y'all sub up, bro. We got 129. We should have 129 subs when I get off this bitch. Everybody sub up and put y'all votes in, man. Hit that motherfucking like button.
And they just put it in the white folks thing, but they're giving that particular history. I said, oh, that's what the Harry Potter said. Give a little white girl, they commission her to do the writing. Didn't say she came up with it. They do that. It's all secret society shit. You know, she just hanging out in a coffee shop one night and just come up with some shit. Come on.
Some Japanese folks brought out, they brought something concerning Harry Potter where they can make 10 more movies.
Yeah.
You heard about that?
Yeah, they still doing it. Now they got them in high school and it's almost like they graduate. But my point here is, they got all this history of the Moors and how they was trained, and they putting that stuff in the Earthsea. That's what that whole thing was about. It's just interesting how that whole thing goes about. Now, the key here is during the time of this December the 25th that we just came out of, which was actually the birthday of Mithra, which is that same chicken god. Now, when I first came and I told you about that book, Ancient Christian Magic, I told you there's a recipe up in there for Jesus, which is Horus. But remember now, the Jesus, even the name Jesus was stolen from Egypt. It didn't arrive in Rome that came out of Kemet also, out of Coptic. In there, when they talk about Horus, and they say the recipe for the Christ is some fried chicken, and they got the Christ on the chicken. And then I said, well, I knew. I told this in Cleveland, and they probably saying that's the most ridiculous thing I done heard. You telling me to get to my Christ food, I gotta eat some chicken. Get some chicken. But then again, on the other hand, look, I just told you a few minutes ago that if you believe in the right shit, that damn chicken could be healing and illumination too. Now, what is better than some goddamn fried chicken? Nothing. Now, I done been vegetarian, and I was proud of that shit, but nothing makes me more proud now. There's some goddamn Popeyes. And I know it's got to be spiritual. I'm eating this shit, and I'm like, God damn, this shit is good. It's all based on alchemy. Look, it's all based on alchemy. In the 90s, shrimp stopped having taste. Sometimes I eat this shrimp, it's like some kind of gristle or something. It don't taste right. But shrimp stopped having taste when the technology to devein shrimp on a mass level became higher. Before, when you have to devein the shrimp by standing over there with a knife, it is the particles of shit that's in the shrimp that make the shit taste good. You want some good shrimp, you gotta go devein them yourself and leave some of that residue up in that motherfucker. And that's alchemy. The carbon, that which is the fertilizer. You see what I'm saying? It's just all how it's the alchemy in it. They have it right there. They say, now that you get some tiger shrimp don't come with veins. So that's good. But the rest of that shit, if it say already deveined, don't buy.
Piano, yeah, that's Bobby Hemmett. Everybody sub up to the channel. 704, calm the hell down. If I had to come, hit you with 2 slaps. He said he's very good. Nah, Bobby Hemmett is hard, though.
I asked me to get this shit there so you have a little bit of residue. It's that whole chitlin principle and shit, I never got up into that realm, but it's the same thing with this whole shrimp thing. But it's the spirit realm and stuff like that. So here goes again. You got to revisit childhood. You know what I'm saying? You got to revisit childhood. Go get that movie with Deja Vu. It's a great love story, Deja Vu. And in there, there's a scene where the 2 people are in their 50s and they reminiscing about all the different candies and shit that came out when they were children. And they said, oh man, remember that? Oh, that was great. But they were going back to that particular realm, that pan realm. So, Mithra is the god that is born on December the 25th. It's a form of Horus. And Mithra and Abraxas is the same. And Abraxas is the chicken god. The rooster is the chicken god. On December the 25th, he's born in a cave. And the cave just also means the deepest part of the subconscious mind. A cave is a lot of times it's made out of stone, so that's the rock, that's the stone, that's melanin. He slays the bull. Mithra slaying the bull is slaying the physical functions of existence. He's slaying his physical existence. You see. And so that's what the whole slaying of the bull is talking about, is to slay the Matrix. It's just like the movie Jonah and the Whale. Jonah is swallowed up by the whale. Well, the whale also represents the Matrix, the illusionary phenomena. So this whole thing of a man swallowed up a whale in the Bible, that's Jonah swallowed up by the whale. In the coffin text, they say Ra gets tired and he invites a whole bunch of gods over to dinner, and he swallows them up. That means that that we used to be spirit beings, but we got swallowed up by Ra and became trapped in the physical realm. So that's what those particular metaphors are actually talking about. They're talking about. I just wanted to give you a couple of things. Let's see here. It's interesting here. I want to put this down on record. Because C. Freeman L. told me that whenever you see them pirates, there was no white pirates. He said most of the pirates was the Moors. A pirate is a motherfucker without a home castle, and when the Moors were ousted from Spain, they got on ships and was robbing people. Now, it's interesting here, because the History Channel, you know, they always keep that shit some white level or whatever type thing here. Every now and then they might say one sentence, and they say, yeah, pirates like Blackbeard. Everybody know that's a man with a black beard, supposedly. Then he fucked around and said, and pirates like Black Caesar. Now, wait a minute. Caesar is a Roman, whatever, what you call a Roman emperor or whatever. So, to call a person Black Caesar means you must be talking about a black man. You see what I'm saying? So, Blackbeard had to be a Moor too. That's why you get the movie The Long Knives. That's the name of that long ship. With Sidney Poitier playing a damn Moor. And they slipped up and said, Black Caesar. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Is that fucking Fred Williamson? So the Black Caesar from Fred Williamson 1973 and held up in Harlem 74 was talking about a Moor that used to travel the seas, as well as the curse of the Black Pearl. All that shit you getting with Jack Sparrow and what's the name of that thing? Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean, making a part two. And why is it that it has the black ones on there? Because pirates that used to travel the seas, as well as the curse of the Black Pearl. All that shit you getting with Jack Sparrow and what's the name of that thing? Pirates of the Caribbean.
He got too happy when he thought of the name of that hoe. Shout out to Bobby Hemmett though, man.
Pirates of the Caribbean, making a part two. And why is it that it has some of them in there that had dreadlocks and had the black ones on there? Because all that shit was black. He had some dreads in his shit. You see what I'm saying? And you go back and get the movie The Phantom with Billy Zane. Came out in 96, The Phantom. And when they went to a place in the Bermuda Triangle, and there was a group of pirates living down there. You see, that's that whole Moor thing. That's that whole Moor thing. So go back now and revisit the movie Dune.
Yeah.
Gotta revisit that and check out Dune. And then you gotta get the ones that came out in 2000. Frank Herbert's Dune and Frank Herbert's Children of Dune. You gotta get all of them. The one from 84, which is the movie, and then you gotta go get the two that came out on the Sci-Fi Channel. And look at that and look at Iraq. And you get it. Now I'm gonna show you what's going on. Let me parallel this thing. The Fremen are a group of people that live in a desert. And they have masters living in the desert, the ghetto. And nobody suspects them to be anything worth any damn thing. As a matter of fact, they don't even know they're around, like they don't know that there's a group of black conscious people around like us. See what I'm saying? And then they rise up and take the shit, but they rise up and take it because the people are so surprised that a people out of the desert, ghetto, could be capable of even doing it. But they used what? They came in and they had a particular person that came. The person that came was nothing but an archetype of their own spirit. The two taught them how to use their voice and use their powers. Children of Doom comes up and he merges with the worm. That's the Kundalini. That's our new self. That's our new higher level self. But now, look at this shit here. We adore it over here, and they ain't thinking nothing going on. But look at the insurgents that's going on in Iraq. That is our energy up over there while we rise up over here. The insurgents. When it first went down, one of the General Omagu said, "We will be victorious." The spirit realm. And then I looked and thought the shit was over. Next thing you know, they can't get up out of there. Killing up people and stuff. But that's our energy. So I'm going to say, look at what's going on. You want to see some physical things. Get the Dune movies and then look at Iraq that's going on now. Because Dune is on what? Arrakis. And see what's going on. It's all in there. It's all in there. There's some stuff going on, and that's what the deal here is we have to tap into. Now, this is interesting about Sigmund Freud, and I'm quite sure that he was on point when he said this shit, because Farrakhan even said this too. Sigmund Freud said with all his so-called great understanding of the man, which is understanding white folks being crazy, that the only thing that he could not master to understand, out of all his greats, and they call him the father of psychology, white psychology. You see what I'm saying? Because they ain't figured out some shit to even monitor our ass.
Everybody hit that like button, sub up to the channel. I'm finna head to the gym, man. It's your big boss, Squalor Bands, back with another one. Y'all sub up to the channel, hit that like button, man. Appreciate everybody that tapped into the live. And that's Bobby Hemmett that I've been playing the whole time. If you want to check him out. Gary, Zach, piano, Not My Circus, triple. 704 Joe. All my mods. Renald, Shay Shay, Easy the Truth, Tracy's, Daily, Zach, Slugs the Truth, Sango, The Monstrous, Real Spill, Ralph, Hidden, Awakened, everybody that tapped in, man, Catherine, LSD, Fambo Podcast, Beans of Rice, Top Dollar, Here's a Micmac. Appreciate everybody that tapped in, man. Y'all sub up to the channel, and I'ma go live a little bit later, and y'all hit that notification bell, man, so y'all can hop on.